Hello,
everyone.
Welcome to the RP Geeks. Welcome to Blood and Fog, a Blades in the Dark story. Oh boy, I'm excited. Hello, I'm Emily. I use she, her pronouns. I'm one of the RP Geeks. You probably know that. Shamini.
I'm another RP geek. I'm over here. I'm Shamini. I'm also using she, her pronouns. And the final geek, Fiona.
Hello, I'm the final geek. The sort of the big triangle we have here. And my name is Fiona, and I use she, her pronouns. And yes, that is us, the sort of Triforce vector of geekery. Done.
The rest of you aren't geeks at all. I don't know if you're aware of this, but you're not allowed to be. We have a monopoly.
Trademarked it.
Yeah. We have fully trademarked the word geek, weirdly. Not the RP Geeks, just geek. Holly, who are you? Why are you here?
I'm Holly. I use she, they pronouns. I'm not a geek. But I like the idea of being the final geek. It's like the final girl in a horror movie, but the final geek, and I'm into that.
Holly has an espion in the background of.
It's an Umbreon.
It's an Umbreon.
Oh my god! You called yourself
an
a
geek license, Holly. You are now an RPG.
I'm not a geek.
I'm
not a geek.
I think you can take Emily's title.
Yeah, you can have mine.
I was gonna say,
yeah, you can have mine. Lou, hi, you're here too. How are you?
Yeah, I am. Sorry, I have no eons of any kind to be correctly or incorrectly referenced. But I'm Lou, and I use they, she pronouns, and here's my tea.
Oh, that's so smooth.
We've been having a lot of conversations about tea and people bringing us tea off stream. I've got my tea right here. It's a lovely tea. It's made of grapes and it's chilled. And we have a very special guest with us this week for one episode, and we are so happy to have them. Josephine McAdam, welcome to the RP Geeks.
Hi, I'm Josephine. I hate intros, and you know this.
My fun fact is I hate intros.
I hate intros. I use she or any pronouns. You know, I like to play around here.
And you love tea.
Know. And I love tea. I love tea. And my tea is temperature controlled in this beautiful mug.
Is that one of the ones that keeps it warm?
Oh, yeah. Actually, it's warming it back up right now because my pot had gotten too cold.
Josephine does not fuck about with tea.
I need that.
Yeah, don't fuck around.
I need it at the perfect temperature at all times, and then it dings to tell me that it's drinking temp.
Wait, your tea dings?
Josephine doesn't she does
I
not
have an
fuck
app.
around with tea.
Oh my god, maybe Josephine does love tea more than me. I don't like the idea of it, but maybe I'm beat.
That's too into tea. You're too into tea.
No.
Guys, we've disbanded the RP Geeks. It's only Josephine now. That's it.
Well, good luck, Josephine. You've got to stream until about 10:30. That'd be great. Thanks. I'll just
Be the RPT.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to call it here. We're going to call it here. Fiona, would you like to take it away?
Oh, but I want to talk about tea now. No, of course not. Hello, everyone. Greetings, scoundrels from across the Imperium, and welcome to this second episode of Blades in the Dark, our Blood and Fog story. So just two things, again, before we get diving back in. The first one is that we are playing Blades in the Dark, but we're actually using the deep cut supplement for a lot of the dice mechanics that you're going to see, including the main one. We're going to be using the threat roll rather than the action roll. And I'm going to explain the mechanics as we go, but I just wanted to put this up front because, you know, some people are like, oh, well, that's not how you push yourself. And I know, because we're doing it slightly differently. And we're doing this because it's a way of streamlining stuff and also introducing people who are brand new to Blades in the Dark and yourselves, the viewers out there, to see how we get on. So do bear with us if we need to clarify or check the rules at any point. Secondly, so Blades in the Dark by John Harper is a game about daring scoundrels building a criminal enterprise on the haunted streets of an industrial fantasy city. We're going to play to find out if this fledgling crew of the Harriers can thrive amidst threats of rival gangs, powerful noble families, vengeful ghosts, Bluecoats of the City Watch, and the siren song of their own vices. So naturally, this place, our world of Duskvol, is going to be very grim and very cruel, set in a place of perpetual darkness. It is a haunted Victorian-era city trapped in a wall of lightning, which is powered by demon blood. So I'm giving you, the lurks and the leeches and the lurchers out there, permission to take a break from watching our story should you need to. As I always say, you are more important than the dice rolls on the table or the devil's bargains that we're going to offer to each other. So, members of my Harriers, are we ready to dive back in to this episode of Blood and Fog?
Yeah.
That's what we like to hear. So we're going to start off, as always, with our opening ritual to start the session, the opening titles. So we've said this before. I'm going to start off by narrating a montage of such, and we're going to jump to each of our characters in turn. The order is going to be the same as last time, but also we're going to include our wonderful guest, Josephine, at the end. So the order, just so people know, we're going to go to Emily, Lou, Shamini, Holly, and then Josephine. And then it's going to throw back to me. And yeah, we're just going to see how we go. So let's start. The fog fills the entire screen and then shifts, and we see a grey puddle, which then gets slapped and break as the water breaks apart, as you see footprints sort of go. People going through a very rainy street, lifting up to see the electric lights of night market. A riot of colour advertising the different market stalls of vendors. Just outside what looks to be like a newly constructed sort of top-tier hound racing track. We sort of see people shouting and putting on bets, and the sounds of mechanical whirs as a hare runs down the line and the cages open as the dogs start to run down the track. Emily, where do we see your character?
I think the camera then pulls back and sort of flies out over the city, and as it careens down one of the streets, you see a flash of light through some windows, and the camera turns towards them, and you just see the last glimpse of the doll. Their eyes are bright white, their skin white but not shimmering, but the cracks within it are light fading from them as they just sort of fall to the floor and like grab some of the dust. There are candles that flicker out around them, and they just sort of take a deep breath in and go,
The camera sort of pulls back, again, going through brick, going through soil, and we end up in the fabulously wealthy district of Brightstone. We see these sort of lavish carriages and sort of both a mixture of being pulled by very beautiful gilded goats, but also not ones that just seem to be powered by themselves, carrying these privileged passengers to luxurious destinations. Up the top, we see the Lord Governor's stronghold, which oversees all, almost like a glittery pearl flanked by the different grand estates of the most noble and powerful nobility. We see the doors open into a sort of a grand hall where people sort of peer. You see boys holding plates which seem to have different teacups and big sort of pouring of like sort of brown liquids of tea into each cup, handing it out to each of the guests. Lou, your character, please.
We hurtle down that same street from last week, and it looks like we are going to go into the steps of that self-same library that we described last week. Apart from at the last minute, the camera veers off and goes past and into a darkened alleyway where the light catches off the back of Arison's white hair. They are talking to a figure with a prominent gold tooth in their largely toothless mouth. And on cue, he drops a bag in front of Arison and out, and the bag spills open slightly, and out of the top of it spills a human hand.
With sort of the camera sort of shifts as the hand hits the sort of ground there, goes to a hand hitting the side of a bar, putting down some money in order to pay for a round of drinks. We see this particular place, one of the oldest pubs in the city. It seems like a dazzling collection of different ales and whiskies all at the back, so sort of those bright lights hitting off each of the bottles. There is sort of a cheers and a joy with a band playing in the background. Moving over then to Shamini's character.
In one corner of the bar, Alistair, a sort of sharp-faced, voluminous-haired young man, laughing loudly. And as he laughs, he very briefly locks eyes across the bar with a person who is with another group, mustachioed, round-faced person. The person looks away, a look of recognition. They look back, and Alistair has vanished from sight.
As we sort of see the place where Alistair was, the camera just goes through sort of a very discoloured window. It's one of those sort of like sort of droplet sort of windows. We go through and we see the outside, almost like a place called the Mire, where the sort of mining, which Duskvol wasn't previously sort of known for. We see mud-covered labourers sort of making their way out of a hard day's shift. You can hear the sort of sound of the siren call as they sort of make their way in their droves back to their different families, scrounging for scraps along the road, along past the farms. Holly, your character, please.
And as we move then to the camera to the top of some rooftops where a meeting seems to be happening, and you can see Cuff with their ear pressed towards a window, listening to a meeting outside, and the sound of the barracks of the police, the Bluecoats and the Blackcoats. You can hear their sword practice nearby as Cuff kind of delicately tries to balance on slightly dodgy ceiling tiles.
A ceiling tile suddenly slips and falls, and as you sort of look, suddenly these faces looking up to you, and you realise that you are off for a chase. The sounds of like people rushing to get to the top. You see sort of like the shadows of various Bluecoats trying to make their way as the chase ensues. The camera follows and then splits away, going towards the sort of the radiant energy farms, the things that we allow the crops to grow in the darkness of Duskvol. Life here depends on these particular farms and the delicate radiant plants and irrigation systems. We see them chopping and changing and turning around over the sort of the being watched over by the certain sort of guards, because these are very precious to the livelihoods of all of Duskvol. And Josephine, your character in all of this montage, where do we see them?
So I think we cut back to a cobblestone street, the streets of Silk Shore. We see a ridiculously handsome man walking down, smoking a pipe, and, lets the pipe hang in his mouth as he writes down some notes. He's got dark, curly, short hair, these piercing hazel eyes. And it's only here that we realize upon a rewatch, if we watched back through that montage, that at the back, behind every scene, there was always someone with someone else hanging out at the bar. Perhaps he was just peering through a window, cheersing with someone else, one of the couples in the alleyways. And he makes his way down this street, smiling to himself, flipping his little notepad and tucking it away in his coat.
We move every step that your character takes. It sort of hits with that sort of like tick, 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 as suddenly the camera sort of turns again down an alleyway where we just see what looks to be then a hallway full of different clocks, different sort of sizes, grandfather, small cuckoo clocks just clicking and ticking until we get to a door. And the door opens and the fog appears, as does our main titles that sort of fade into view in red and black font over this picture. Blood and Fog, A Blaze in the Dark Story. Chapter 2. Honor amongst Thieves. It is 23 minutes. It is 23 minutes past the hour of song on the 47th day of Siren. The moon and her two sibling reflections loom huge and bright in the night sky above our haunted city of Duskvol. The sightless hour has now passed, according to the bells, meaning that the fog has finally ebbed and receded back into the shadowy nooks and crannies of the cobbled streets. The heavy sounds of deadbolts and chains being slowly drawn back start to fill the air as concealed individuals begin to go about their nightly endeavours. Endeavours both of business and the leisure variety. But what if one was to mix business and leisure? Well, you scoundrels of the Harriers crew would know all about that. Since your little drug deal went down at the wrestling pit, whispers of your operations have rippled across the whole of Silkshore, your reputation spreading quickly like a little bit of gossip through a hair salon. Let's run down the state of play as it stands for the Harriers, shall we? So while selling the spark on behalf of Bazos Baz has strengthened your relationship with the Lampblacks, it has soured any possible relationship with their rivals, the Red Sashes. For now, that is. That said, the Harriers are no strangers to making enemies. When your crew took the underground library as your main base of operations, you unintentionally screwed over quite a lot of the servants of Six Towers, robbing them of their very secret place where they can gather and converse away from the prying eyes of their noble families. With your expertise in the ghost market, it was only a matter of time before the Harriers would end up on the Spirit Warden's shit list. These bronze-masked hunters who destroy rogue spirits and dispose of corpses are not ones to be trifled with. They have yet to approach your team, but you feel eyes upon you at every moment as a result. One wrong move, and they could literally come crushing down with you with their full might. You ain't afraid of no ghost, but you should be afraid of the Spirit Wardens. And whilst your ties with the Dimmer Sisters and the Ink Wraiths remain unchanged, the doubling down in refusing to pay your territory rivals, the Wraiths, it's a bold choice. More on that in a moment. Your contact, Lydra, the deal broker, has been quiet of late. No doubt trying to keep her out of the way of any incoming heat after you sided with the Lampblacks in the war or refusing to pay off the Wraiths. Whilst no one is ever truly neutral in this dark city, Lydra was always one to keep her options open. Some say with one foot out of the door, ready to leave. But right now, 23 minutes past the hour of song on the 47th day of Saran, we find ourselves in Six Towers, formerly a prestigious district which has now faded over the centuries into a pale shadow of what it once was. Originally the grand residences of Duskvol's finest families, the buildings here have either been sold off and converted into cheap apartments or fallen into ruin and abandon. The camera moves through the street and then down a sewer grate through some pipes, following the sounds of soft talking and murmuring as we enter the main living area of your humble abode. And it's here that we find our 4 members of the Harriers: the Good Doctor, the Doll, Cuff, and Ware, and a new individual who has come a-calling on behalf of the Wraiths with a proposal. Josephine, I would like you to introduce your characters and describe them for us and what they are currently talking about.
Oh yeah. Well, a little description. Yeah, they've got he's got dark brown hair, very chiseled features, these hazel eyes. He's very well put together. He's got a nice suit on with a nice coat over top. He doesn't look like he's roughing it. And he probably came in with a sort of perpetual little smirk on his face. Who would he have? Is there a leader amongst you? Who do you think would have been the point of contact here?
That is a very good question. I suspect, thinking about the 4 people we have here, I think it would have been the Good Doctor. Okay. Whilst not necessarily the outspoken person that you might have seen about this Ware character, you're looking for someone with brains.
Or maybe who was the last one to come in, because I probably would have just been waiting outside.
Oh, in that case, absolutely the Doctor. I would suggest, for sure.
Okay, great. And when I would have arrived was, I've heard so much about you all. You can call me Sugar. I have a little job for your crew. The Harriers, was it? If you wouldn't mind letting me into your humble abode, we could talk some more about it. Get you out of this little pickle you might have found yourselves in.
The Good God Doctor, we cannot hear
sometimes.
You. Oh, you come now. We can. Yep.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Maybe a bit louder.
Okay. Sorry, my voice is much quieter and lower than my usual speaking voice. I suppose that depends. I find that sometimes too much sugar is bad for one's health.
Well, they just send me when they want to help the medicine go down, you see.
That I can respect. Come in.
Oh, thank you, thank you. What does your place look like?
That's a very good question. I'm going to throw it over to the rest of the Harriers because we've not had time in the lair just now. I would say for each of you, you can describe like something about the place and maybe what your character is up to doing. I will say, because I'm going to get it out of the way, yes, there is a flamingo in the center of the room. It's probably got a couple of like hats and scarves on it at this point. Maybe a little
And a
sign
gnome by the door, I believe.
Yes.
by the door. Then yes, and maybe an umbrella or something. But yes, I'll hand it over to the players to describe what you see, Sugar, as you enter their abode.
I can start if you like, because I briefly described it in my opening montage last week. So, well, at least this bit of it. So it's a sort of grand entrance of a public library that has fallen upon hard times. So you've come up a set of steps that's got two columns going up down to come into some big double doors, and there are a further, once you're inside the main foyer with threadbare carpet and a smattering of dust, there's a second set of stairs that goes up and then curves around to both sides to a mezzanine level that is full of floor to ceiling shelves, and there is also a staircase leading down off to one side.
Great. Any other features?
Yeah.
So yeah, I think
people.
Yeah, the flamingo is in amidst a collection. It's the center point of a collection of furniture, various bits of lawn furniture, and I think also very specifically a very expensive but worn chaiselong, which I think where is draped over. Casting somewhat suspicious glances at the flamingo. Slightly uncomfortable.
There is also a very tall wingback red leather chair, which the doll is sat in, just with a notepad, not looking at you, just staring down and just constantly scribbling, almost too quickly. It almost looks like when you see, for example, like a Ouija board moving very fast, it almost looks like that, like they're just scribbling and then flipping a page and scribbling again.
And maybe on the other side, by a little metal crate that has got lots of papers in and flames kind of licking up out of it. Hopefully not too many books from the shelves, but just bits and pieces that Cuff has found. Just kneeling next to it, Cuff is dipping in a couple of little metal tools, getting them really hot, and just messing with some really nasty looking injuries on their eye before they cover it up with a patch and look actually quite vulnerably at you as you've come in and spotted them in a less than strong position.
Oh my, you must keep all manner of secrets in these shelves.
Behave yourselves, children, we have a guest.
How do you do? My name is Sugar, and I do like a little bow towards your general direction.
Oh, I mean, I call a lot of people Sugar, but they ain't usually as handsome as you.
I hear that a lot. I'm here on behalf of some of our mutual acquaintances, you could say. Now, I've been hearing on the streets you guys been getting busy. Got your hands on a nice little business here with dealing with Spark. Is that right?
We can't
our
really
interest is academic.
Yeah, we're that's why we like hanging out in this library, because we do the reading, right, Doc? Or the reading we're doing.
I wasn't aware you could read, Alistair.
I'm working on it.
Okay. But you have, whether or not you're dealing in this. You have now decided not once, but twice to skip your payments to the Wraiths. I know you're up and coming around here. Maybe you're new to the game, but that's not how we do things.
Do you work for the Wraiths?
We could say that, yeah. Yes, I do. But I'm here with a deal for you all. Luckily for you, because the Wraiths are not someone you want to mess with. Believe me when I tell you that. They will come for you, but they're willing to extend an olive branch, shall we say. Honestly, it's a really good deal for y'all. I don't know what you did to get their mercy in this way, but I would count yourselves lucky.
I don't really understand why we had to pay them in the first place.
That's just the way things work in this city, darling.
Please don't call me that.
Oh, certainly.
You can call her Doll. It's quite fun. Be
The
like,
Doll.
Right, Doll. Hey,
Yes,
Doll.
thank you, Where came up with that?
I think at this point, Cuff would probably get up and just move to where Primula is sat. Just slowly, carefully, keeping eyes on Sugar, but just stepping a little bit closer to Primula.
Here's the thing. Whether y'all are gonna admit it or not, I know you're in the vice dealing business. And, well, there are some other vice dealers popping up in the Silk Shore currently. Have you heard of the Branch Twins?
Definitely.
Okay, well then you must know then that they as well have entered the vice dealing business. This is something that is probably going to be encroaching into your business. They've got some very fine product. The thing is, we don't want them around. We don't need their competition. We don't want their product on our streets. In fact, we would rather have them in our hands.
What is
If
their
you
product?
all... Oh, what is their product? Well, I think it's more fun if you agree to come along, and you'll find out soon enough. If you all help me stop this business, whether it is removing the product, removing the Branch Twins, making sure they get the message, we can come to an agreement with the Wraiths and consider your debts waived off. Done. Nada. None for you to worry about.
Would you give us a minute?
Fine.
Deal. Oh, right.
Oh, okay. If we're all going to just say yes, I was going to say yes too. But
We are a smoothly oiled machine here,
Oh, clearly.
as you can see.
I mean, we can sit and make light and go back and forth and puff out our chests, but it seems to me they entirely have purposes aligned, and I don't see the point of beating around the bush much further.
That's it? Yes? You'll do it? You'll just help me? Well, that was easy.
Doc's very smart if they think it's a good idea.
Oh, yeah.
Whether it turns out to be a good idea, it seems that if our purposes are going to be aligned, we might as well go with it. And if it turns out that there is ulterior motives or other things that are not agreeable, then we can deal with things as we come to them.
Yeah.
All right, well, to be clear, I'm going to be leaving this mission, heist, shall we say, with product in hand. Hopefully. That would be the most desired outcome. I'll need you together to come with me to visit the cloister. This is their base of operations in Silk Shore.
do the Wraiths not have people of their own that could do this?
Oh, why risk people of their own when they got the Harriers already owing them?
So
And
you're
why are they
saying it's
risking you?
dangerous?
Why are they risking you then?
Oh, I won't be at any risk. I know what I'm doing.
And
I'm
why do you
just
need
here-
us?
Quite hard. And
I'm just here to
points at Cuff.
supervise, shall we say? Make sure you all get the job done.
You're taking a supervisory role.
Yeah, I mean, I like to have fun too. Look, I'm just supposed to be here to supervise, but it wouldn't be any fun if I didn't get to get in on the action too, now would it?
You've specified what you want in your hands. What goes into ours?
Well, not owing the wraiths, not having them come knocking at your door. They sent me, I'm agreeable, I'm nice. You don't want to know who they send next.
Right. So we meet you where? When? Not you where, sorry. Where do we meet you? It gets very confusing.
And so, to move this on, so yes, Sugar has set out this task of dealing with the Branch twins, sort of a new sort of vice dealer on the district of Silkshore. And as we sort of move away, probably through the fires themselves, this is where we get to the engagement role and stuff. So this is something that we did last time. So the first thing we need to talk about is how are we going about this? What kind of operation type are we thinking? So remember, you have those 6 options. We have assault, deception, stealth, occult, social, and transport. And once you've got an idea of what kind of heist you would like to do, you need to supply the detail. So I'll go through them all again. So assault means that you do violence to a target, and you give the detail of the point of attack. Deception is to lure, trick, or manipulate. The detail of this is the method of that deception. Stealth is trespass unseen. The detail is the point of infiltration. Occult is engage a supernatural power. The detail is what's the arcane method. Social is negotiate, bargain, or persuade. The detail is what the social connection is. And finally, transport is carry cargo or people through danger, and the detail is route or means. So how do you think, what you've presented so far, and this is where we can also talk about gathering information, like how you would find out maybe a bit more about the Branch twins, because Sugar, obviously you have absolutely seen through Ware's lies, they have no clue who the Branch twins are. So it's that sort of thing of like, you know, how do you best go about it, and then we can just start off the heist. So does anyone have any thoughts about what kind of operation type they would like to do?
What are you guys best at?
I mean, last week we did social, and that doesn't seem like it's going to be appropriate this week. My immediate thought was transport.
Ooh.
Only if they've got product coming in, then there is the opportunity to either hijack said transport and take it over for ourselves, or somehow get involved in that transport somehow. But then I suppose that would be deception.
Yeah, what about do you have anyone that deals in explosives?
I do not.
So,
I as a leech, I've got, tinkering and mixology and whatever else. Not specifically explosives, but
maybe we could do a little deception. I would have I don't need all the product. We could do a little deception thing, have a few of you get in the back, plant some place wrecking stuff.
Yep.
I don't know. If we want a louder, I guess it depends how you want to come out of this, but I want you guys to, because I've asked you to do the job.
I'll remind, in case people have not seen the stream of last week, they are on 6 in terms of sort of heat as well, so that might determine
It's a
whether
very
being loud or
public
not.
thing, okay?
No, I just thought I'd just state the facts, the state of play. So
before we decide, can I do some of the pre-investigation and maybe do my ritual?
Oh, yeah. Do you want to explain what your ritual is?
Yeah, so I have a ritual as a whisper where I can see through the eyes of a spirit and spy on a place or a target. And so maybe I could do that. It sort of takes me 30 minutes, and then I do take stress, and I can extend it a bit longer, but I can spy on people and or places for about 30 minutes to an hour.
Sure.
So maybe if I can sort of see, maybe based on what Sugar knows already about the people, whether there's sort of any extra intel I can gather which might help us in when we can either strike or
I think that's fair. So
Oh,
you're gonna use your ritual to spy through using one of the spirits. What, during the day? Are you at night? Again, this could take a few days of gathering intel. You don't have to go tonight compared to last week. So I'm guessing, what do you think in terms of, are you seeing like, because I assume, this is just me saying, you're trying to get a read on the shop itself, because you don't know much about the branch tweens.
it would depend on what Sugar knows, I think. Like if Sugar already knows.
Yeah, if you want to get more on the inner workings of the actual building, and I would definitely, I'll sit in front of you, I'll smoke my pipe, and this weird like purple smoke will come out, and I'll make these shapes of what the building looks like billow out of the smoke in front of you. Yeah, ask your friends how we get in this here building.
My friends, of course. And the doll will sort of clear some of the lawn furniture and the garden furniture out from the middle of the floor, and just sort of create a bit of a space, and come back with 6 black candles, which she'll place sort of in a circle around her, and sort of turn to Cuff and say, make sure no one gets too close. And she'll sort of sit down in the middle of them and place her hands on her knees cross-legged, and take a deep breath in, and all the candles will suddenly light in this bright blue flame, and the same flame sort of appears flickering in the doll's eyes, and slowly that light begins to spread, and in the cracks in her porcelain skin you see this light start to sort of emanate out, until eventually she just sort of drops her mouth in this like open scream that you can't hear anything from. And suddenly the light from the candles sort of trails into her mouth, just sort of connected to all of them. And at that point, she sort of ascends into the spirit world and is able to sort of connect herself to a spirit in the nearby vicinity of the hideout, and will sort of watch for, half an hour.
For half an hour. So so just to be clear, so you're going to look where this particular building is, the cloister. That is in Silkshore. So it's not too far away from Six Towers. It's a little bit of a stretch. So what we were saying before, with this particular ritual, you're going to take free stress from casting it, but you are going to make a we're going to say a study roll for this, so that you get that information. I will say to you now, if you would like to extend that time, you're more than welcome to get 2 more stress, but I might add a threat on top of that, so that if you get a bad result, people will notice that there's a ghost hanging around in Silkshore, and I'm going to start a clock saying spirit wardens.
Sure. Do I have to decide that immediately, or can I decide that during the ritual if it's sort of, I think I need more time?
So ideally, devil's bargains and stuff is before.
Okay.
And then pushing yourself to stop the things is after.
5 stress is a lot. Yeah, let's do it.
I like
I'm
that
doing it.
You
An
decided
hour.
to take stress before we've even started.
2 hours. Yeah. 5
All right.
Strong.
Let's go. Why not? Big swings.
All right. Big swing. I always like the doll.
No, don't say.
5 stress before the heist is fantastic.
Yeah.
Yep.
Look, once we get there, I'll be free background. It'll be fine.
Yeah. Sure.
Sure.
You can always push yourself afterwards to reduce that stress. Yeah. That's the thing as well. So, okay. So, what have you got in study?
I've got 2 dots in study.
Okay.
So it's just 2, isn't it? Yeah.
It's just 2, and then tell me what the highest is.
It's double 6s.
Ooh, very good. You get an edge on this as well. So just to be clear,
I got an edge before.
So normally I would say like, standard risky in terms of like, what the sort of the stakes are, but we usually assume that standard risk is what it is, which is going to be. And when you gain more than 1 6, you gain an edge, which represents a spark of luck or tenacity. You can spend this edge right away to get a greater effect to your action, or you can carry it forward as a bonus die on a future roll. If you're in a position to help a teammate, you may spend that edge as well. So just to check with you, the doll, do you want to spend that edge now, or do you want to keep it?
I'm going to keep it because I've got 5 stress, so I think keeping it and maybe for later might be a good idea.
Sounds good. I would say as well, if you would like to push yourself, we can do that in a second. Just make a note of that edge, though, because I will absolutely forget about it. So I'm going to tell you what the consequence is, and then you can tell me if you wish to push yourself to reduce that stress. Sure. So you again, flick your head back. The mouth goes much longer. People watching, it's almost like a snake, slightly longer and sort of like a little bit more unhinged. And our camera sort of zooms up, and it's not just one spirit. You sort of hop between spirits as you're making your way across 6 towers towards Silkshore. And easily you spot this building that Sugar has described in their smoke picture. Again, it's sort of like down a couple of streets in Silkshore, a little bit away from the gondolas and a bit away from, thankfully, the wrestling pit that you were at last week. And the reason you know it's absolutely this particular shop is that there is a line of people outside looking to get in. You can tell there are some what look like to be very well-dressed uniformed assistants going up and down, like trying to calm people, in terms of waiting times. And the spirit, I guess, is sort of hanging around. Again, from what our sort of spirit view, we don't actually see what the spirit is. You sort of see people going into the shop, and the sound is very odd. Like you can hear like what sounds like a whole mixture of different music sort of playing throughout in the actual shop itself. But the curtains are drawn and stuff. So you're there for about an hour, seeing sort of comes in. So you get the sense that there is a long list of people to get in. There's a guest list to get in for at least. But looking up as well, you can see that this building itself is quite tall. And you suspect the way it sort of works out, it's almost like a converted warehouse as well. So you can sense that there are people like getting shipments in and going up through like maybe the back of the place itself, whilst the shopfront is there. But you don't see in that hour any shipments coming in. You think that they don't come during shop hours for sure, which is currently now. And that's maybe the unusual thing as well. Like, again, Vice dens are open as many hours of the day, but this one with so many people publicly waiting outside, that's the key thing, I think, is that clearly you will be noticed if you are, there's definitely people around will see people going in. And so that's sort of notice there. We got the 6s. I think at that point you say you were welcome, and then you sense on the edge of your sort of periphery the sound of a bell, and you look up and you see just around the corner a raven start to come in. But because you've spent that stress and you got your 6s, you go and you break the connection instantly, leaving that spirit to its demise of the spirit wardens.
I think as she sort of comes back, you will see, and you those of you who have been around her for a while, you sort of know the cracks on her skin, but they all seem a little bit longer than they were before. And she sort of right, and she will just convey all of that information to everyone.
Perfect. So then just to go back then to the operation type. So you've got this sort of sense of where the building is, that there are people milling about, both sort of like punters and possibly some security as well. That's what you sort of get from the lay of the scene, from that sort of gathering information. I will say, obviously, other people can also gather information, but just to go back to what kind of operation people are thinking of, because that will help us plan the heist a little bit more, the minimal amount of planning we're supposed to do in this game.
Yes, I don't think stealth is going to work.
I think deception or transport.
Deception is lure, trick, or manipulate, and the detail I would need from you is the method of deception. How would you deceive them?
We saw. Oh no, we didn't see any shipments coming in, so we don't know what.
Didn't see it in the hour that the doll looked up.
We could pose as part of the city watch, the city guard, here to do an inspection on product and practice of the establishment.
Cuff could help with
If you
that.
wanted to get some uniforms, I could get some stuff for us.
What are they claiming to be selling?
You were not told. Sugar has kept that card
Like in
close to
terms
his
of
chest.
like
That's
the outside
helpful.
of the shop,
Cheers,
like does
sugar.
it say like, you know,
Does it say,
buy really nice
hi,
tea
Vice
here?
is here,
But
come
was
here,
was there a sign?
Yeah, but they
or
got
anything
the
on the
cover, right?
outside?
What's
Yeah.
what's the cover? What's their cover? Like what's their
Sorry,
public face?
you're
of,
right,
like-
yeah. It looks like, it says the cloister, and then there's just a little bell on the sign. There you go.
They sell bells.
I think
I don't think they sell
Bell
bells.
shop.
And
Fake
and
bell shop.
honestly, as you guys are planning, I feel like this is how it is where like Sugar's just like in the corner, like could tell you more, but just like wants to watch you guys plan. And he's just sitting in the corner smoking his pipe.
Yeah.
I think after that
Fascinating.
suggestion from Sugar, Cuff would quite sheepishly step forward. Again, a little bit closer to Primula, a bit scared about Primula's crags. And would go, right, well, if you want, we could dress as black coats and spits on the floor when they say black coats. But if you wouldn't mind being such a despicable thing for an evening, I know that they strike fear into people when they come, so you know we might not get as much messing about if the military police were involved. I could get us some black coats if we wanted.
Will you be all right with that, Cuff?
Yeah, I'll be fine with it.
High risk. I like it.
That's a shout for deception, with the method of deception being pretending to be high up law enforcement. Any other thoughts to different kinds of things? I think that sounds great, but just want to check in with other people. Any other thoughts?
I'm good with that.
I think it sounds very good. I have almost no points in any resolve skills.
Yeah,
That's
So I
great.
will be very much hoping that other
Oh, no, my
people will
results
do
are
the
no
talking.
Oh my god, you can always argue another
Oh, yeah.
skill.
Yeah, I'll
cool.
listen.
If
And
I
I
can do
won't
that,
judge.
great.
And sorry, that's a very good point. Just to Emily, do you wanted to push yourself to stop taking that much stress? Because you've taken 5 stress from your ritual. You can push yourself to reduce it if you would like to. That's what
Nah,
I'm
I'll
checking.
leave it. It's fine.
Sounds great. Excellent.
Yeah.
Okay. So,
Oh, good.
if there's no other call-outs, deception is your method in, with the method of deception being impersonating high-up police officers. What could go wrong?
Cuff, do they ever have, veils that they wear as the black coats?
They can do whatever they want to do, to be honest.
Okay, great.
I've seen them wearing all sorts.
I should
mean,
just
I
probably
haven't.
get a mask or something.
I've just heard they wear all sorts.
Sure.
I mean, you could always pretend to be different folk from factions. I mean, it's not often. I mean, you could always have someone pretending to be a spirit warden that's coming in for certain things as well. If
Oh, I
spirits
could
are
do
about.
that.
If you're all wanting
like
to
their
pretend to be other
masks.
people.
I'll be a spirit warden.
All right.
This can only end brilliantly. I see
don't know
no
what you're
issues
talking
with any
about.
of these plans.
Uh-huh.
Great.
Big
Okay.
spoons.
So that sounds like the actual operation. Fantastic. I just want to check with other folk. Does anyone want to gather any of the information other than what we had so far? Do we want to, or do we just want to go in and just play to find out?
I think I would gather some black coats, and so by black coats I mean the coats that the black coats wear.
Yes.
And probably just listen to hear if I could, while I'm around the barracks, listen. Kind of, I wouldn't directly talk to anybody, but I would try and see if I could pick up any information that I could use as part of a disguise to enforce that I am who I'm saying I am, basically.
Perfect. I think for this, I'm not going to make you roll for it. Again, I'm going to offer you a devil's bargain. There's going to be a cost to pay. So either you can pay off some people, and it will cost 1 coin. And I would say that you can get that information like that. I mean, you could take some stress as well, but I think the coin may be more prevalent to this, personally, thinking about it.
I'll
Like,
spend a coin.
you don't want people knowing that you specifically are asking around about the black coats.
Yeah, I think Cuff would not want that. Cuff would spend the coin and find the information that way.
Fantastic. Yeah, easily enough. You pay, you grease some palms and whatnot, and within a day or so, you have a cosplay worthy amount of black coats that you can specialize to how you need. And you've managed to come up with, I'd say on that, some very basic papers as well, and ID documents. Again, if they're looked at too closely, probably won't hold up, but you've done this before. From a previous life, you know, just it's all about the confidence, and people sort of fall away as a result of that. So yeah, you've got that.
I think Ware looks quite impressed at this sort of hoard, and I was like, do you nick all this?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, just came across it actually.
Like sneaky, like you can do the sneak. I thought you were all like, punchy.
All right. Well, I can do sneaky sometimes. I just I'd rather do it by myself, you know, when no one's watching. I guess that's properly sneaky, isn't it?
If you're sneaky, no one would say that's wow. I didn't.
So maybe I am a bit sneaky actually.
Yeah, you and me, we could do some. In fact, do you wanna come do some sneaky?
Well, I did say I like doing it by myself.
You did just say that, yeah.
Yeah, but maybe yeah. Maybe, you know, Cuff actually cracks her smile and is quite excited about the idea of maybe.
All right.
Sure. One day.
The idea of maybe.
Maybe one day.
One day doing some sneaking.
So, unless Ware and the good doctor want to add anything to gathering information, just giving you that opportunity to do so.
One thing I would like to gather.
Go. What is it, good doctor?
I would like. I mentioned last we didn't actually end up going down this road, but I wanted to have a look at, if I can. I don't know what kind of, in a kind of Victorian setting, how kind of files and medical records and systems are kind of put in place. But I'd like to maybe kind of hang around or do some whatever the equivalent of supply teaching is for, but in hospitals and clinics.
Placement.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, doing some sort of reserve cover in some of the clinics in Six Towers.
Okay.
And have a look through some medical records and see if, looking specifically at people that have come in with addictions and drug problems and, you know, variety of other things which they have procured from a vice dealer, and see if there's a common denominator in the area.
I really love that. I think that's really cool, really, really smart way of doing it. So I'm gonna we're not gonna make you roll for it. I'm gonna give you a devil's bargain for this. You have a clock that says the doctor will be recognised. It's currently 1 filled in. I think if you do this work, it will take some time. I would like to, and there's 4 segments to this clock. I'll just tick another segment, and you get the information.
Do it. That seems fine.
Yeah, because it's totally the same with people in a fighting ring, clocking me, and
then they see you the next day. Going, did I see you last night at the ring? Yeah, absolutely.
Hi, I've come here to pick up my prescription, but didn't I see you here?
Is that a yes to the clock?
Yeah.
That's good. So, doctor,
I love clocks.
The information is this. You take your time, and it's unusual, actually, in that the people that are coming in and you're sort of analysing them over, again, you don't, you know how it is, waiting lists and all that. You only get like a couple of minutes with each one. But you take a history of quite a few of these folks, and it's the strangest thing. They clearly have signs of addiction. They've got sort of like red eyes, sort of like looking quite sore. But they don't physically, like, there's nothing changed in their blood work. There doesn't seem to be any sort of like drug withdrawal symptoms. You maybe surmise that it's probably not a drug like spark or anything like that. It's definitely something unusual in that sense, not an edible or a vice like alcohol or anything like that, substance. So that's very unusual. But you are seeing quite an influx of patients who not only have that sort of red eyes as if they've been awake all night, a little bit jittery, but you can see like on the soles of their feet, it looks like that their feet are like red raw, like blisters, you know, as if they've been up on their feet. And they sort of complain about tiredness and a slight ringing in their ears. But otherwise, you know, after a few days, you know, when you say take 2 and come back in a few days, they seem fine, but yeah, those are the symptoms you sort of get in that sense.
Thank you.
No, thank you. And just to check with Ware, What are you doing? Are you doing any information, or are you just like letting your team?
I'm going to
carry
do the
hates
lazy
plans.
information gathering, and I'm just going to saunter over to Sugar at some point
Do it, yeah. Do it now.
and be like, all right, Sugar.
Oh, hey there, where?
So what exactly do you do other than smouldering at people?
Oh, you know, same as everyone else. Walk these streets wanting to live forever. How about you?
You said you wanted to get I sneak, and I nick stuff, and it's great fun. You said you wanted some fun. Like, what flavour does your fun come in? You know?
Oh, I like, you know, the bigger the better. Big bada boom, I like that. I like the fireworks. I like to see it all go down. I just want to see, I have fun watching you have fun.
Oh, you won't see me.
Sure,
I'll
I
be
won't.
sneaking.
Right.
And just between us, this bell shop.
The cloister.
That right? Yeah. You reckon there's anything else of value in there that, you know, obviously you want whatever product you want, but, you know, maybe there's an antique bells or something that might go missing.
Yeah, I'm sure there is. You trying to get a little more out of this score than you're already getting?
It's just about efficiency. It's about minimizing waste. You know, we don't want to leave stuff. Anyone can walk off the street and nick the bells.
Where would you characterize yourself as someone who always needs a little bit more, isn't satisfied with the glory that they have in front of them?
Why, you got a little bit more?
I'm just curious. I'm trying to get to know you.
No, I'm extremely satisfied with glory. What you've said there, yeah. But you know, if there was anything else going, just trying to be efficient.
Right. And I just want to know that I can trust you, right? How do I know you're not gonna go off on your own here and grab what you want and scurry off to a little corner where I can't find you?
Well, unless the corner where you can't find me does really good wine and some nice starters. Yeah, and probably ain't that interested in corners.
Really?
We got a good gig going on here. Obviously, some misunderstandings with the wraiths regarding who owes what for what reasons.
Wait, what makes it so good? What makes this so good? What was the allure?
Well, I can take you to. My friend is a very good chef. Down the road, very fine establishment. I think after you've tasted a selection of the entrees, I think you'll see.
Right. Okay. Sorry, were you trying to get something from me?
Bell info. Did you didn't want the entrees?
No, I'm good. I'm full up.
Right. All right. Well, I'm gonna go sneak around and spot me if you can.
As Ware walks away, the doll just goes, "Very good, really impressive, Ware. Well done."
What?
A polite little blush to wear, perhaps, at being seen.
Spotted me.
All right.
You hear the shade rattle.
Yeah.
That's the doll.
All right. So let's do our engagement roll to see what position you are at the beginning of this particular heist, which I will remind you is that you are sort of impersonating a mixture of folks, black coats, and whatever the doll's interpretation of the spirit wardens is going to be, which I can't wait to find out. I think.
Oh yeah, to be forthright, Sugar is not going to impersonate a black coat. That seems insane.
Incredible. Sounds great.
It's just a bunch of black coats and sugar and a spirit warden.
Surprise.
Excellent.
But 100% encourages it in this planning
Yes,
phase.
absolutely. So I'm going to ask Emily to roll this engagement roll for me
Oh,
because you were the
good.
one that started off with this information. So let's talk about this. So we start off with 1d6 for sheer luck, and then we're going to modify the dice pool as follows. So, is this operation particularly bold and daring?
Oh.
Yes, because you are impersonating some black coats. So take another d6. Is this operation overly complex and contingent on many factors? Well,
No. They just have to believe us.
we'll see. So we won't take that away from you. Does this plan's detail exploit a vulnerability of the target or hit them where they're weakest? I think so. Like any vice dealer has a threat of being exposed by the Bluecoats and raided. Yeah. So take another d6. Is the target strongest against this approach, or do they have a particular defenses or special preparations? I would say they do, in the sense of that, there's a lot of people there, so there would be lots of witnesses, and possibly there's some security on there, at least checking you on the guest list and all that sort of thing. So there'll definitely be people there. So minus a d6 for that.
Okay.
Can any of your friends or contacts provide aid or insight for this operation? It doesn't sound like there was.
Hydra's not around, so.
Oh no!
Help of a spirit.
I've already
not my
accounted that
friend.
for that thing, so I don't think.
Dang it.
Well, no, you're right because you had a way to have insight into the operation. So yeah, have another d6. That's
Okay.
fine. Are there any enemies or rivals interfering in this operation?
They're helping.
Interfering is an interesting word, isn't it?
I think Sugar's helping us, right? There's no worry
Yeah,
about
sugar's
that.
definitely helping.
In a
Yeah.
supervisory capacity.
It's definitely helping
So
all
that would
good.
be a bad thing.
Oh, all right. Yeah, no, that's fine. And then, are there any other elements that you want to consider? I think this is the thing. The Branch twins, from what you have gathered, although you've not done any information on them themselves, they are pretty low tier on that as well. But they're probably on the same tier as you starting out. So I think that's it. You're not going to have any others. So how many dice have you got so far,
I've
Emily?
got 3.
3. All right.
Wow.
Roll and let us know what you get. The highest number, please.
They're all the same number again.
Okay.
All good. And it's a very high number, right?
It's a high-ish number. It's 4.
Okay. So it's a mixed result.
But there are
So you're in
3
a
of
risk-
them, and I think that should count for something. So that's quite cool.
It is very cool. You are in a risky position when the action starts. So,
Great.
Risky.
fantastic.
Oh dear, and I'm dressed like a bad knockoff spirit warden.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's like Spirit
Maybe I
Halloween has
won't be as
happened.
creepy.
So, as far as I'm aware, the plan is to, I'm going to say, you have arrived at this street. And maybe it's a few days later, again, to allow us to do flashbacks.
Yeah, I'll meet you there. Right.
Yeah, and yeah, Sugar, this is what you see coming around the corner. You see 4 individuals
Wait,
that look like...
I wouldn't be with them if I'm dressed as a spirit warden.
Oh, okay. Well, hang on. Well, you see a group of individuals coming dressed in what looks like the outfits of the black coats, which Sugar, again, you'd be aware of. But as they get closer, you definitely see the various sort of shapes. Sort of the doctor's sort of like prim proper, sort of straight back. You see cuffs, sort of like a little bit more weirdly, sort of like the suit sort of fits them. The coat sort of fits them. And then you have don't raise your hand, Lou. Hang
Please
on. 'cause
don't
you've
put your hand up on Zoom. You've
you've
put
moved
everyone
everyone
down.
around.
Turns out.
You cannot move video whilst okay, there we go. Yeah.
Oh
thanks.
my
yeah.
god.
I lowered my hand.
That was
One
a
second,
thing.
Lou. Let me finish. And but you definitely see the individual of Ware probably struggling a little bit, trying to like get the coat to fit. Sorry, Doctor, please.
I was going to say, I wondered because of my background in society and stuff, I can sort of pull off a authority and whatever else. When you if you have a meeting with the chief of police, they're not going to be uniformed. They're going to be with uniformed officers, but they're going to be, in smart plain clothes. And the same as like with Ed, the head of any car. So I wonder whether
You're just plain clothes. Okay.
whether I can be in smart plain clothes flanked by officers.
Incredible. Okay.
Oh,
So-
should we do our loadouts actually?
Yes, so that was the next thing. Thank you for that. So quickly choose your loadout when you're going into this mission. So with deep cuts, you have 2. You have discreet, which is 4 slots but no heavy items, and conspicuous, which is 6 slots, and that does include heavy items. Remember, you don't have to select the equipment just now, but just to have a weapon. Just to go to this image for you, Sugar, you see the Doctor looking like as if they've just come in from an evening walk, with 2 black coats, one that looks a bit more sort of with it than the other, perhaps. And the doll, I guess, are you with them, the doll, or are you not there?
No, I'll hang back.
Okay.
Yeah, we can come to me in a bit.
So I think this is the start of the heist itself. And Sugar, I think you see this. You see sort of the team of 3 sort of marching up across it, and you see, firstly, that all the people in the line look to you and look incredibly nervous, and they're sort of whispering, going, "Oh, it's the Black Coats, oh no, it's the Black Coats," and they are causing quite a kerfuffle. And a couple of the assistants sort of go, "Oh, get the twins, they need to come out here." And so, as you sort of arrive at the front,
yeah. I would love to have been at the front of the line by the time they arrive.
Yes, you've been in the queue. Yes,
to
yeah.
Talk to the guys at the front, whoever's checking this list, whoever's got the clipboard. I don't know what they're using.
Yeah, they've got like a clipboard, and yeah, they've been talking to you. It's been a little while. It's that sort of like when you get here, it's 30 minutes till you're inside, that sort of thing. So they've been making small chat. Sort of a girl, sort of like mid 20s. Again, her hair's sort of done up in the bun. She's got like an apron on and stuff like that. She's trying her best, looking quite nervous. You get the sense that she's quite new.
Yeah,
for sure.
I'll look back before the rest of them approach, kind of motion towards the Blackcoats and talk to this young woman. Look, I'm a friend of the Branch twins, and they're going to want to know what's coming. If you want to get them out here, I can give them a heads up and make sure they're not too nervous about this. I know how to handle these types.
Okay, you are in a risky position just now because you were, I think, fine until these bozos coming in. So I think for this, what skill would you like to use for this, Sugar?
I'd like to use sway.
Sway. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to use sway.
Perfect. What I will say, again, that's a risky thing. If you don't do well on this, the consequence is that, yes, you're not going to be let in. The Branch twins are going to come out.
Oh, no, yeah, I'm asking for them to come anyway.
Oh, perfect. Okay.
Just to...
Then,
I just want to give them a warning.
Sure. Then the opposite is true. You will go in and separate from them. So, yeah, how many points you got in sway for me, please?
Just 2.
Oh, just 2. Yeah, just roll 2d6 and
just 2. Actually, is there like another threat you could offer me for another dice?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. If you want another threat,
stack them up.
Sure. I think they overhear you talking in the queue, so people behind you, and they're like, "Oh, well, I also know the Branch twins too, and me too, and me too." And so the threat is that you've got a group of other people behind you who are trying to get in. And I think if you're not being able to deal with those, you're going to get pushed, and sort of like there's a bit of a rabble going to happen. So you're going to take a little bit of harm. I think maybe like a level. Yeah, it's going to be level 2 harm, sort of like disheveled and bruised, which might make you less appealing as a result. So yeah, you get another die as a result for getting
Let's try it. I'm using my fancy Blades in the Dark dice.
Ooh, lovely.
Wait, hold on. I should show blades.
Show.
Blades.
Blades.
Oh, got blades.
Look at that.
Blades. They're in the dark.
And they're metal. They're very heavy. Okay.
Oh,
all right.
Well, best of luck.
That was so heavy. Cool.
All right. What did you get?
It's a 4. It's a 4.
4, and then
and a 2 and a 1.
Okay, so you get to assign when you add another person. You have to assign which ones they go. So the 2 and 4, where are you going to assign them?
I'll take the damage from the people trying to jostle and
definitely
get in my way.
You sort of you sort of hit up against the wall and get some like quite nasty scrapes and bruises, perhaps. So we'll put that as a level 2 harm. Like again, it's that sort of thing where you don't feel physically like inept, but like it might just stop you from getting her. So okay, so we'll take that 2 to go for that, and then a 4. So it's mixed success. I think you see the girl looking a little bit like, oh, I don't know, they don't like to be disturbed, but I'm sure I can get them to. Oh, I guess. And you think like if you take a little bit more stress in that sort of sense that she will let you in, but like you might need to plead with her a little bit to get you inside.
Yeah, I mean, you better hurry, man, because you want to get them out before they get in.
Sure. Please, everyone, keep calm, keep calm. You come forward. So yeah, if you take 2 stress for me as well on top of that, yeah,
Okay.
you managed to get in, but again, it's a very stressful
Yeah.
situation. You're having to think on your feet a little bit.
Yeah, I'll
And
take it.
yeah, the 3 people coming up, you can see Sugar slip in ahead of them, but you can see that the crowd now is
I wanna
getting
turn
really
and-
angered. Yeah,
Wink at them as I do.
incredible. Yeah, the crowd now is like outraged that this whippersnapper has just been let in. So as you sort of come in, there's a bit of a pushing and shoving, and people sort of shouting at each other. Yes, I'm going to switch to the doll currently. What are you doing at this moment?
The doll is currently in an alleyway, wearing
Yep.
a very long black cloak with sort of feathers around the edges. And she spent some time trying to find a mask for that would look like the spirit wardens, and did not have a lot of a success, or at least nothing that she deemed successful. So she has made the decision to go ahead with the cape, which I would like to say looks very convincing, but then just use her face as the idea of the spirit warden mask. And she is just waiting round the corner and is going to give it some time until they all go in, and then she is going to follow maybe like 5 minutes, 10 minutes after.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, just wanted to make sure you weren't going in like by the back entrance. So it sounds like everyone's going to attempt to go through the front entrance. Great. There is.
Maybe I should go through the back entrance.
It sounds like you're going through the front entrance.
Sure,
Too
I'm
late.
going through the front entrance. Sure.
I'll go back to the group of 3. So as you sort of arrive, Dr. Cuff, and where you can see this hubble. There's like a crowd that's sort of, again, the line is quite thin, like in the sense of like the I'm just trying to think of a better word for this. They're sort of like roped in a little bit, and they're clearly getting outraged because they're waiting for so long. And again, the Doctor, you can see that these individuals have the sort of red eyes, and again, they're sort of like nervous, they're sort of twitching, and they're like holding their ears a little bit, clearly back for more. These are the same sort of symptoms that you saw in your clinic as well.
I feel like
Sorry.
I was going to say, I feel like something would kick in, maybe a bit instinctual for Cuff, and she'd be like, all right, IDs, everybody get your IDs out, and you're going to need to see your papers up against this wall. And she's going to point to the wall, and now maybe tap a weapon at her side. I don't want to have to get this out. IDs, come on now, and just like see if they move against the wall.
Okay.
Where is looking dead impressed at your acting abilities. Just wow.
Okay.
No idea.
So this feels to me, again, it's a risky move, and I'd say on this front, I feels like a command. You're commanding people, you're intimidating them to do stuff. What I'd say, Cuff, they are a bit rowdy just now, and obviously then your sudden threat might cause a stampede, and as a result, the 3 of you might be suddenly in this sort of swarm and get some levels of harm as well. But yeah, that's what I'm saying. Unless there's another, unless you have like an item you would like to use that will help you boost up your dice pool, or you've got another skill you would like to use. But I feel like command is probably the best one here. As
Can I
suggested
help
to you.
Cuff out?
How would
Obviously,
you
like, you know, in the sort of the guise of, you know, these kind of uniformed officers with the sort of, you know, quieter kind of authority. I'd like to get a notebook out of my coat pocket or whatever, and start pointedly looking at people in the face and start writing. You know, it doesn't matter what I'm writing, but like seeming like I'm taking note of what he's doing.
Absolutely. I feel for this then. I'm going to allow you to assist, so that you can do several things with it. But I feel like an extra dice to your pool, Cuff, will go well. However, just to let you know, Doctor, that you might gain, you might have an additional sort of harm as a result, just because you're helping with this die roll. Just to let you know on that front before we go into it. But yeah, so you still have. So is that okay with you, Cuff? Your command, or do you have another?
Yeah, I think command is what I'm doing, and
All right.
I've got my 1 die for command, and I've got my 1 assist as well from
Nice.
the
Let's do
good
it.
doctor.
All right, best of luck.
6 and a 1, but a 6.
A 6, amazing. So yeah, the sort of picture you have, the cool, calm, collective doctor that's sort of just there taking notes, really is that it's almost like your good cop and then bad cop sort of attitude going on. But you are sort of, yeah, again, you're just in control. It's weird how you can just snap back into that sort of feeling again, like as you were in your previous life. And the rabble sort of just goes silent at this point. And there's sort of like, again, there's, that people are desperately trying to find IDs and stuff. Some of them are just handing them over to you. So you do have a bunch of IDs as a result. Yes, it is. You've managed to get yourselves into a decent sort of position outside with the crowd, not causing as big a havoc as possible. I've just realised what the time is, though, so I'm just going to stop us there for our break, and I'm going to hand it over to Emily for our lore drop, if that's okay.
Hello. Oh yes, the lore drop.
Lore drop
Yes,
time.
yes.
Yeah, sorry, I was in the middle, and I was like, oh no, lore drop time. My bad.
Yeah, well, I'm doing the lore drop this week, and I wanted to talk a little bit, very quickly, about ghost stories. And I started off looking into ghosts because it's Blaze in the Dark and I'm playing a whisper. And I was like, ghosts, let's look into ghosts. And I looked at some of the sciencey stuff around like scientific explanations for certain ghostly phenomena, which are very interesting and you should look it up. But then I actually just got into a Wikipedia like rabbit hole on ghost stories and like the first mentions of ghosts in various like cultures and like where it came from. And like from in the written word, like back to Mesopotamia, there are mentions of ghosts and spirits. In the Epic of Gilgamesh, which is considered one of the oldest written texts, it speaks about after King Gilgamesh's friend dies, he is visited by a ghost. So it's there, like it's already within culture at that point, and probably even more than culture, I guess. At that stage, it was probably much more a belief maybe than we have today. There are spirits of the dead mentioned in the Odyssey. In the Roman times, that was one of the earliest examples we think of haunted houses being used in literature. So there is a letter from Pliny the Younger, and he sort of tells of, hang on, let me just read this again because I wrote this earlier. That was it. And yeah, someone rents a house and says this house is haunted by spirits and, you know, this one particular location. And that seems to be the first reference of like a location being haunted as opposed to spirits just sort of being around. But then in Roman times, there's also a play called Mostellaria, which can be translated as the ghost house. And it's a comedy where basically this kid, his parents go away for the weekend, I'm paraphrasing, he has a big party, and when he comes back to hide the party, he's like, oh, you can't go in there, it's haunted, and stops his parents from going in the house because it's haunted. And that is the story.
It's not haunted,
so that's a lie about it being haunted.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he makes that up.
I knew that. I got
Yeah. So I was reading about all these things, but then the thing that really grabbed me was, again, from ancient Mesopotamia, so way back when, we're talking like 2000 to 8000 BC, so 8000 to 2000 BC. They think they have the first drawing or depiction physically of a ghost. And basically, hidden in the depths of where else but the British Museum, they found this like little cuneiform tablet, so sort of ancient writings. And on one side, there was all this writing, and that was what they were all focusing on. And it seemed to be about like exorcism and how to rid themselves of ghosts and things like that. But they turned it over and started looking at it properly in sort of like, I think it was only sort of about 5 years ago. And they found there's these like markings on the back, and they realized they are drawings of a ghost and someone leading the ghost to the afterlife. And I'm going to put a picture of it up on stream now. You can't really see it. You can maybe see it. The rest of you, you'll have to click onto the stream. There will be a delay. But
20 seconds, let's go.
Yeah, you got 20 seconds, 30 seconds. If I make it a bit bigger, you can see there's a person on the left. And if I just bring this up, you should be able to see where they've actually highlighted what they look like. So the one at the back with the beard, that is Ghost Man. And the story supposedly is that this guy was really into women. And the only way this spirit would leave was if they got like a woman to drag him to the afterlife, to the point that on the back of the tablet, what it talks about is how you have to get these two figures together. So the way to exorcise this ghost is to get a little mini statue of a man, a little mini statue of a woman, and sort of like dress them in particular robes and put them out, and then sort of let me get the name of the god that you have to say the name of. Where's the bigger thing? I think it's Shamash. And yeah, the only the first few words of the spell that it was survive, which is Shamash, Lord of the Broad, and that's where it. And that's Shamash, Lord of the Broad. That's what it says. And Shamash was the ancient Mesopotamian sun god, and was sort of like a divine judge, and associated with bringing people to the underworld, which sort of makes sense as to why he would be there. But yeah, this is like an old exorcism tablet, which was probably in this like magician's library from like a long time ago. But people were talking about ghosts and like drawing them, and and they think that is the oldest drawing of a ghost. So there you go. That's nice.
I like that person's like unfinished business was just, I really like women.
That's kind of
I didn't women know.
The man is a restless spirit who liked the ladies. To rid the man's family of his ghost, Nexus conjured a female partner whose job was to take him down to the underworld.
Same. I mean, that seems like a good goal.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, if I'm going to be a ghost, you're going to have to conjure somebody to like drag me down to the depths.
drag me there. Oh no.
Imagine getting that job and turning up and being like, I'm doing what today? Okay, all right.
Sure.
Oh god, yeah.
Sure, oh god. You've not just asked nicely. No, all right, okay, I'll do
Take
it.
a ghost to dinner first. Yeah, exactly.
And I just thought it was interesting, like that Roman thing of like it being a comedy and it being a joke about a haunted house already, like in Roman times. I just thought it's just
so
great.
funny.
And
People love haunted. So I worked at a haunted house for like 3 years. Because
What
people
were
love
you in the
love
haunted
getting
house?
scared. Well, was I? Most of the time, what I was known for was being this really creepy doll.
yeah.
Wow.
Well, actually,
There you go.
there you go.
Yeah, I'll send you a photo. It'll freak you out.
Yeah.
My jaw
yes.
came off. My jaw came off, and like I had like weird mottled flesh underneath, and it was pretty messed up. It was
cool.
pretty messed
I
up.
cannot think of anything I'd like to do less than go around a haunted house.
Oh yeah, I mean, I would never go through one myself. I've never been a customer. I've only worked in them.
I think I would I would happily work in one, but I think going through one
Yeah.
sounds awful.
Someone
When I
come
was-
with me
Yeah.
to a haunted house,
No,
guys.
thank you.
Come on.
When I was a child, I went on like a ghost train in Bridlington, which is a seaside town in North Yorkshire. Bridlington Little Fair. And me and my younger sibling, who's a couple of years younger than me, were put on it about the ages of like probably 5 and 3. And the train car came out of the ghost train, and we were not in it. And my mum thought it was a joke, like ha ha ha, where are my children? But I had gotten so scared in the ghost train that I had climbed into the bottom of the train, like underneath where you sit. And my younger sibling, who's a bit harder than me, lasted a little bit longer, but then also did the same thing. And
you were
we
in
were
there.
hiding.
You were just
We were
hiding.
in there, but we wouldn't come out because we were too scared, and it freaked the guy who was running the ghost train out because he thought he'd
great.
lost 2 children.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That would, I mean, if you were running that ride, you would like that's stomach dropping out your ass moment, isn't
Yeah.
it? Where you're
My
like,
life is over.
oh, well,
Just-
I'm
I mean-
going to jail. Like I'm done.
I lost 2 human
Can you
children.
see a little bit of it? Hold on.
Oh my
Oh
god,
my
Josephine!
God, Josephine. That is terrifying. That is
Terrifying.
terrifying.
It was
That's
great. I had,
you.
like,
Very cool.
Chains,
Very cool.
and I would like because I would scare people as they were waiting in line outside, so I'd kind
very
of like
cool.
walk around like like I was
I
I was
broken.
expecting a
chains
vaguely
thing.
Josephine-looking doll.
Yeah.
Yeah, like a beautiful.
No.
No.
No. There was no part of me visible. It was great.
No.
Very
And the
cool.
chains thing, that is in the Romans. They think they first
is
had the
it?
mention of the chains,
with
which
the
was the
chains.
letter from Pliny the Younger, I said. Yeah, because on the first... Hang on, let me see this. Let me
Why the
read.
chains?
He sees an apparition beckoning him to follow him into a courtyard where the ghost disappears. The next day, he has the spot excavated and finds human bones bound in chains. And after giving them a proper burial, that's when it all ends and things.
Yeah.
So,
And then I turned into that.
Oh,
Inside.
no.
Very cool.
It was like more
Love that.
robotic and had lights and stuff, but
oh my
similar.
gosh.
Just the
The
upgrade.
costume and makeup is amazing.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
Very cool.
Thank you. My now husband and I made it.
That's
Oh,
all.
met at the
yeah,
haunted
that's very
house.
cool. A meet cute. A
Yeah,
meet
very
cute.
very meat cute, right?
An actual meat cute. Yeah.
Right, let's have a break. We will be
Yes.
back shortly. Thank you all so much for sharing your spooky stories. People in chat, put your spooky stories in chat. We want to hear. Have you ever worked in a haunted house? Have you ever been lost in a haunted house.
Who's seen a ghost?
Yeah. Have you ever seen a ghost?
I've seen a ghost. I've seen 2 ghosts.
You've seen 2 ghosts?
Yeah.
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 Oh man. Okay, right. Hang on. We're gonna go to a break. We're gonna talk about this. Holly, you can tell the story later if you want.
Oh yeah.
Right.
No, only to you guys.
Only to us. Yeah, you don't get to find out. Right. See you in a few minutes. Goodbye, everyone. Thanks for being here.
Bye. All right. I didn't see you there. Hello, welcome back to this game of Blades in the Dark. So far,
No,
we've had...
wait, please pause. Okay, no, you're fine. I just deleted the whole scene that we were in rather than the picture of the tablet that I was trying to delete. That was very bad for a second. We're back now, though. It's fine. Okay.
You didn't see any of that.
We'll cut the video here.
Perfectly, yes. Well, you didn't see any of that. What a shame. That is an incredible image that Emily put up there of ghosts and whatnot. But welcome back to this game of Blood and Fog, a Blades in the Dark story, where our wonderful Harriers have been have had a proposal put to them by a newcomer on behalf of the race, one Sugar, who has asked them to help out with a little problem that will affect both not only the race but also the Harriers themselves. That a new team of vice dealers have appeared on the streets of Silkshore, the Branch twins, who seem to be dealing quite publicly out in the open in their shop, the Cloister. And it seems like whatever they've got, whatever product is, it's really starting to take an edge on the market. And so the proposal is to deal with the twins in some way, and they've opted for deception. And whether that's taking the product from them or getting rid of it in some way, it's up to the players. But so far, we know we have one person that's inside the establishment, that is Sugar, who's managed to slip in before the full force of this, these black coats and the doctor have sort of come up and started questioning and sort of searching the punters about to go in. And around another corner, we have the doll ready and waiting as her version of a spirit warden. I'm sure nothing can go wrong at this point. We're going to go...
just called the actual black coats on them. Have them actually raid it and just come in and swept up.
But we didn't.
Let's go inside the cloister as well. As Sugar sort of ushered in, you get that this shop itself, as you look at it, it has been clearly at some point it was quite a low ceiling and stuff. Maybe you go down some stairs and stuff. Like, it clearly was like almost like a terraced house in some way. But the floors have been taken apart and sort of almost made into almost like a chapel-esque type thing. We've got those huge sort of arches and stuff. And the whole place, after you sort of go down a couple of corridors, opens out into a big open space. And there seems to be a number of pews sort of put around on the side. And each pew has what looks like a gramophone next to it, with a sort of like this sort of big sort of brass sort of trumpet and a collection of weirdly these sort of like look like cylinders, but then there's also some discs as well, sort of interesting discs. And you can see that each punter is sort of led to a particular pew and is asked to sort of lie down, and they are given a really interesting sort of contraption. As you they sort of hold it up, it looks like two cups essentially on a sort of big sort of not string, but like sort of a piece of leather of some sort, and they're encouraged to put it over their own ears. And an assistant will sort of like indicate for them to sort of sit down and move the needle of the gramophone to press go on the actual disc or the actual cylinder as it moves. And instantly you can see these punters, as they sort of listen to whatever they're sort of hearing, sort of go into almost like a dreamlike state and sort of listen. And you see across from you, there's a couple of other people, some of them again more in a sort of sleepy state, some of them are actually up and they're sort of moving and jiving across like areas. Some of them bump into each other, others not. But the music itself, there's like a gentle sort of like hum over it, and you realize that maybe what was being heard on the outside is sort of covering the sound of lots of people sort of moving and jiving about in this sort of, well, a silent disco of some sort.
Yep. Are the twins coming to the door? Are they like, has anyone gone to get them?
You are left to the front at the moment, so this is where you're sort of seeing it, and you can see that a couple of assistants are sort of going hurriedly to what looks like some people at the back that you can't see. But I'll give you a moment to see if you would like to do anything in this moment as you're left unattended by inexperienced shop assistants.
Yeah. Well, honestly, I'd love to just employ a flashback at this point.
Let's do it. What are we flashbacking to?
I'd like to flash back to maybe a week back at the Pleasure Tavern Smoke Shop, where I like to spend a lot of time. We don't need to go into the details of how intimate this relationship may be with the people that you smoke with at times, but suffice it to say, I would love for the twins to be there with me, indulging in their own vices. I know how to scratch the twins' itches. I know what they like, and we have established a repertoire. We have a very good relationship. That is what I would like to establish in this flashback.
Incredible. I love that. Yes. So from your sort of brief sort of like what's it called? Sort of not reconnaissance, but like reconnaissance. There you go, reconnaissance. Yes, you've met the twins. We've got Layella and we've got Laurent Branch, a sort of sister and brother. Not identical, but they are twins.
And Laurent. Yeah, basically wanted to wine and dine him.
Yeah, you can tell that Laurent is sort of definitely the one that's more of the host of operation, has a head for numbers and stuff. Again, you got sort of switched back hair, tiny little mustache, but is sort of like engaging and sort of very much hanging on in every word. And Layella, she is more, again, more the logistics side of it, sort of like getting to and from with the product and stuff. But you're not here to talk about business. It's just to get a social aspect on it. And yeah, what I'd say with that flashback, I'm going to give you 2 stress, if that's okay.
Yeah.
You can see like the assistant is sort of like making their way through that, and it's sort of like, oh, you've got someone, and instantly it's like, oh, my friend, and instantly Laurent sort of comes over and goes, oh, Layella's just out at the back just now, good friend, but how are you?
Oh, no, don't trouble yourself. I just, look, I wanted to come congratulate you on this incredible opening. But also something a little more urgent. I just want you to know there are some Blackcoats heading in here. They seem to be with their captain as well as with them. Do you have what you need in order here? If not, I mean, you know how I am. I happen to have a very good, well-established relationship with this particular captain, if you understand what I'm saying. I'm sure you know the kind of relationship I'm talking about. If you need any help, just say the word. I'd be happy to guide them through.
You can see, again, his eyes sort of go a little bit wide at the mention of sort of black coats appearing and stuff, but you're sort of smoothing over, and with that sort of previous relationship, he's, oh, good friend indeed, my friend. Yes, of course. Yes, we've got all the documents in order, but you know how these inspections go. You never know sure what nose is going to put out a joint and whatnot. But yes, please, if you're able to smooth things over. Are they here now? Should I set up an office or something?
They're about to arrive. You know, they like to be coddled. They probably would like, some free samples. I assume that's how I've dealt with them in the past.
Free samples, yes. Maybe a private booth. We can get them in there.
That would probably be very amenable. Yeah, I'd be happy to make the introductions though, so things go as smoothly as possible. You don't want people freaking out outside. They're a little spooked.
That'll be terrible for business.
Exactly.
Sure. Okay. Well, and he sort of like clicks his fingers, and various assistants sort of look up, because again, the clicking of the fingers you can sort of hear over even the sort of shuffle of bodies and stuff. And he's we private booth. We have company coming in. And sort of indicates for you to go ahead into the booth itself. We sort of go back to the outside of this the sort of pat down of various individuals happening. I just want to check in with Ware, just making sure that you've got a chance to do something if you would like to. You are on mute first, that's the thing.
No, we're just sort of going along with it, trying to, be, well, suitably differential to the good doctor, but then he usually is, so that kind of works. I'm just kind of looking impressed at Cuff, who's really, embodying the character, and where it feels a little bit like this coat isn't doing it for me. It's not tailored for me. If I could have worn one of my coats, but so he's just like feeling a little bit less suave than he would like.
Less suave. Okay, that's fair enough. The
Should
door
I
sort of
go out to get that? Like, do you think it would be like, would the agreement be like, I should go get them away from your customers, bring them inside type of thing, or did Laurent want to handle that himself?
I think Laurent does look a bit shaken, and if you offer to go with him, or to go out, it's like, oh, well, yes, of course, I will introduce them in and make sure smooth over any cracks and stuff, and dot some I's and cross some T's and all that sort of thing. Yes, lead on. We'll make sure the booth is up. You lead sort of ahead, and the door opens again, and you can see the three of you see this individual sort of again, maybe a little bit shorter than Sugar, but that sort of swept back hair and little moustache. And you can say, folks, thank you so much for visiting the cloister. I hear you are here to do a sort of a routine inspection. No need for alarm, it's all part of the course. He sort of like talks to the other punters in the crowd and sort of then ushers the three of you in, leaving the doll outside in their Spirit Warden outfit.
She's fine.
For now. Excellent. We'll move the action to the booth itself. Again, all the four of you inside are sort of sat in this sort of, again, I say booth, they've sort of arranged some curtains to be around you, these sort of like sort of red velvet sort of curtains that sort of pulled ahead. And so the sound of bodies shuffling, which you've all seen, by the way, these individuals either lying stretched out on pews or sort of dancing it to their own internal, I don't know, music of some sort. And you're sort of put here, and you can see there's like a gramophone there as well, a couple of chairs and whatnot. The offerings of various beverages as well. We've got sort of ice water and teas and whatnot. And Lawrence sort of introduces himself to you all as one of the twins, as sort of one of the creative directors here at the cloister. I understand that we weren't expecting an inspection so soon. Otherwise, Layela would have all the documents out there. But I'm very, very, very happy to accommodate the coats. And sort of looks to you all.
Right, well, I'm sure that they want to also enjoy the products, see what it is that you're offering to the clientele. I can make sure that they have a good time while they're here, Laurent.
Oh, you're so kind, friend. Yes, and again, sort of clicks his fingers, and a small a box sort of comes in, like someone comes in, puts it on a little table in front, and like, again, wooden box, sort of the size, maybe about like a foot in length and size, and sort of opens it up, and inside you can see these sort of like phonograph records essentially that get pulled out, and you can see on them that again they're pulled out of like little sleeves as well. Some of them have unusual sort of like imprints on it, like sort of grooves. And he goes, yes, well, we have acquired some interesting new ways of preserving live music, and means that we can hear back songs that move and changes, and as you can see, we've got quite popular as a result. Do you care for a jazz or maybe a string quartet? Sort of like starts to look through. A free sample, of course.
Captain, what's your preference here?
I'm partial to a quartet, a piano trio, perhaps.
Piano trio. Well, maybe this, and it again pulls out a disc of some sort, and sort of like again puts it on the sort of the phonograph gramophone player. You will have to wear some of these sort of well, colloquially we call them cans. But just to keep the music within your own sort of place, so that you don't disturb people. We did try first to have sort of anyone having music on, but we found that was really disrespectful for etiquette, certainly in public places. Please, and offers you, the doctor, a pair of cans to put on, if you would like.
When I get handed them, can I have a look at them a little bit more closely?
What are you looking for?
Anything, obviously, because these people have had effects that
are not conducive to just listening to some music for a bit. So I'm looking out for anything which might indicate that something other than music is going to be, if there's any hidden compartments or anything that makes these not look like headphones.
I would say, again, they look like this weird word you said, headphones. But if you want to like properly look into them, you might need to tinker, sort of to fiddle with it, perhaps. Is what I'm going to suggest to you in terms of the skill you're going to use. Unless you can convince me to use something else. What have you got in Tinker?
I'm Tinker.
What have you got in Tinker?
Let's go with Tinker.
And I would say as well, is there any equipment you'd like to use? Like, again, just trying to make sure you get enough for your bargain if you're looking for stuff.
I think I've got I take out of my pocket one of those pairs of glasses that then put another lens in front and then put another lens in whatever else, and then just kind of for examining things.
Of course.
Closely
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So you fill one of your slots and add a d6. I'm going to offer you also a devil's bargain as well, is that you'll get a lot more information, because again, you're in the middle of a dark sort of club, with not much in terms, it's just like lantern light and stuff, so you might not get as much information as you had like in your workshop. I'll give you devil's bargain that you'll get more information, but the bargain is, so that's a greater effect, but the bargain is that you will put on the headphones and you will get a new vice, which is addicted to music. You don't have to take it, but you'll get more information if you do.
Take it.
Yeah, why not?
Sounds good. All right, you're going to get more content. So how many dice are you rolling just
four
now?
more episodes to try and survive a music addiction.
I think the pleasure barge has just got a lot louder.
Yeah.
That's a 2, a 3, and a 6.
6. Amazing. Fantastic. So mark down your new vice of addicted to music.
Well, indeed.
And as you're looking through it, and again, the others will see this as well. The headphones themselves, there's nothing particularly. The cans. The cans themselves don't particularly look like they've got anything inscribed on them or any sort of like hidden needles or injections and stuff like that. But it's as you put them on, you can feel them slowly close around your ears, indicating sort of full isolation, almost sort of soundproof in a way. And before you are able to sort of interpret anything else from it, you can see Lawrence sort of moves the gramophone, and the most incredible piece of music starts to play. You can hear like 2 pianos almost like dueling in a sense, and they're playing sort of grand up and down things, and you can almost visualize it as well. The music, as it goes through your mind, it's almost as if you're there in constant. Like, yes, you can hear like the little pops and static as it goes round, but it is quite something. And before you know it, like it's the end of the track, you can just hear the sort of turning of the thing. So you don't think there's anything necessarily about the cans themselves, but it's these cylinders, it's these discs that capture a moment in time so perfectly. It feels like you were there and gives you an experience. And you realize as you sort of take them off, there's a tear that comes down. You feel moved by this capture of music. And the other 2 see it as well. Like this doctor just like concentrating, like clearly trying to figure out stuff, but doesn't look like they're in any pain or anything like that. They don't tear off the headphones, but they're just suddenly off in a different world.
This seems cooler than Spark. Maybe we should deal in this.
Dealer music. Music dealer.
You can see Laurent is sort of like waiting, expectantly, sort of like nervously looking, and every so often looking over to Sugar, going like, like making sure.
Oh yeah, no, it's going great. Don't you worry. And I'll pat him on the shoulder, and at the same time, I want to just blow a little trance powder into his face.
Oh, incredible! What does that do? Just so that people know at home.
It should put him into a blissful trance-like state.
I like this. I feel like
a pleasant hypnotic trance when inhaled.
This is great. I like this. I feel like you're in a bit of a control position just now because he's eating out of the palm of your hand. You've already had that flashback, so you're not going to have to roll for this because you have this new control position as a result.
Incredible.
So it just happens as a result. So what was it with this trance thing? He just forgets this moment, or just sort of goes?
No, he's
limp?
just going to go into a bit of a hypnotic trance, and I want him to just kind of stay here for a bit and kind of zone out. Well, and then I would turn to the rest. All right, guys, what's the plan?
So, do you want these discs? Is that what you're looking for? Or do you want...
This is incredible, but the other twin is in the back, and there's got to be a larger collection here. We gotta shut this whole operation down.
All right. Cuff would pocket the discs we can see just as quickly as possible.
Okay, so the discs themselves, they're fairly big. I'd say.
I just need a few choice selections, but really we gotta probably destroy the majority of it. Lauren's gonna be like this for maybe give or take 5-10 minutes, so we gotta work fast.
I mean, we should, more than a couple. Just, if we're going to be the sole suppliers, we should probably have a few extra.
I'm sorry, you're trying to become the supply. Oh, you're just changing the deal on the fly here, are we?
The royal we, obviously.
We. Okay, I'm gonna take some of these and stick them in a like a sleeve on my back inside my jacket.
Yeah, you've got like an LP sleeve.
An LP sleeve.
So cool.
Built in.
Coat.
What I'd say to Cuff, so you say you're going to have some. What I'd say is, if you don't necessarily have any bags or anything on you, but what I'd say is that you would take up one of your slots for like a good handful of these things if you wish to have it. Obviously, if you take say more than double digits, maybe 2 slots, etc. So that's why I just want to let you know is that it will take up one of your slots if you're going to.
That's fine by me. I came conspicuously loaded.
Oh, so suddenly all these things. Amazing.
I'm also going to take some, and I came discreetly loaded, so I am already half. So, the half of it is like all right. Taken account of.
I can't wait. Again, I'm just already seeing this moment where you're having a showdown and you're just throwing discs at each other. That's all I'm seeing just now in terms of equipment.
The pretties.
I know, and as you're going through and you're picking up these LPs, it's these discs, the cylinders. You notice on them that some of them have like writing and pictures. There's a couple again, some of them are typically they are black in color, these sort of discs, but also you have like ones that seem a bit more multicolored, and there's some like reds and oranges and like clearly more custom made for particular things. So these are quite valuable as assets. Yes. Oh, go for it.
May I flashback?
Ooh, what are we flashing back to?
So I've obviously been planning a bell heist on the side.
Have you now?
Yeah. All bells right. Being big, heavy things. I needed to plan a way to get my secret bell stash out. Yeah. But having just heard Harrison saying like we should definitely take some discs, I'm like, oh right, Harrison wants the word discs. Sure, okay. I have previously come to this location, skulked in alleyways nearby, and found what it was essentially a skip, a sort of box that isn't so easy to look into, that's kind of full of rubbish, probably made of rubbish. Yeah. And I've just like made sure it's under a window. Somewhere in this building. Now I haven't been inside the building, so I don't know which window. But somewhere in here is a window, and it's relatively it's got enough rubbish in it that if you dropped a bell out of it, it wouldn't go dong.
So I'm getting this. Just so I got this completely right. Yeah. You're flashbacking. To basically before bin day.
Move a bin. Yeah.
To move in.
Yes, exactly.
Because you're like
bin padding.
This is you like cloister bell. Got it. We're gonna take this big bell. Picture of the bell. Yeah. Okay. What else? Yes. Maybe again. Hang on. Let me make this right. I feel like there's a threat in here.
Stress. No.
Yeah. So much stress. A wanted level. Somebody moved bin day. No. I think. There is going to be a threat to this, so I feel like you're flashing back. So you're going to let's put it this way: you're going to take 2 stress because of the flashback. So I think I appreciate you going to go and sort of sound out this particular place. The threat, the complication when we get to it, is that bin might not be there because it has been moved back by the trades folk that are moving things in. Different shipments. Bin Day is happening.
I'm doing my research to find out when Bin Day was, because that seemed like too much like hard
That sounds
work.
boring.
So,
Who?
yeah.
City Council changing Bin Day, honestly. But I feel like maybe as well as like, oh, it could be a way to take some of this product out safely, but also a way for you guys to get out without being hurt as well, like rather than going out front entrance. I think you would surmise that a good place this would be round the back where the warehouse sort of loading thing is, so that there's a place there. So whilst it's maybe, so it's basically a way out for you guys as well, and to keep the product out there as well. So yeah, I'll let you have that for sure. But there may be consequences later on if I deem it.
We might jump and instantly onto the road and break our legs. That's just
don't worry. You've got the product. You'll save your break. You know that's fine.
Jump on the discs.
Okay.
What I'd say.
Again, going to the dogs. I appreciate you were outside just now.
Why am I? Yes, good question.
Yeah, what are you? What's going on? You can see that the punters have sort of quietened down from your position where you are. But they seem because they were sort of like interrogated a little bit by Cuff, but then they've sort of been let in. But the punters themselves, they're sort of waiting in line. No one's come to fetch them. It's been about 10 minutes or so.
They're still outside. They're all still there.
Yes.
I have an idea. It seems stupid. Okay, well, we're doing it.
Swings.
Please, can I pull out a bell, but like a hand bell?
Mm-hmm.
How much is it worth?
You don't know.
Yeah.
It's
You've
not as big as
absolutely.
you think.
The doll has never shown where the bell.
Steal that bell.
And she's just going to start ringing it in this alleyway as she takes off the cloak of the thing, and then she's going to pocket the bell and sort of run out of the alleyway and sort of drop the cloak behind her, and then just sort of turn to the punters and go, "They're all coming. You must leave. I think I've stopped the early one."
Okay.
I don't know why.
We play to
I
find
feel
out,
like
don't
I
we?
made a very bad decision dressing as a spirit warden.
I don't know
and
what you're
I'm just
talking
trying
about.
to
There are
get
no
out of
bad
it.
decisions.
It
no
was a
bad
bad
decision.
decision.
Let's talk about this. So, what kind of skill do you think you're using? Are you trying to like command people to run, or to sway people?
Sway more than command, I would say, probably.
Of course.
Yeah.
So
No,
yeah,
it probably is more sway as well, because she's not trying to tell them to run. She's saying that the spirit wardens are coming, and that she stopped one because she threw her.
She
cloak
stopped
on
one.
Yeah, that's what she
Interesting.
said. Yeah.
Yes. No. I'm just making sure everyone heard that. So we, I think sway works for this. So however many dots you have in sway,
One.
I'm gonna give you an extra one, because again, you're sort of like you have sort of like had this idea of being a spirit warden. And you're like, wait, I've got one better. I'm gonna give you another threat as well on top of this.
Seems fair.
Because you were ringing a bell. See, the spirit wardens are drawn to certain bells. To indicate that a corpse has been found.
Bells. Cool.
And so
I thought they maybe had the bells. That was what I. Okay, great. Yeah, no, carry on. Yep.
No. I think that's fine. So you're going to have an extra die as a result. But what I'm going to say is that if you do badly on this particular check, so you've got two threats sort of come in, is that if you do badly on this, the spirit wardens will turn up.
Sure.
And that's not very good for you.
No.
Is it? It's all right for me.
Wait, but I thought the spirit wardens hate us, don't they? Don't they hate us?
They do hate you. Someone was listening to my prologue, yeah.
Oh no, that'd be.
That's all right.
It's not going to happen though, is it?
No, I don't think
roll
it's
really
gonna
well,
happen.
Emily.
Emily's going to do
fine.
brilliantly.
Yeah.
Fine.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
That's
Oh,
right.
no.
A 5.
Okay, mixed results. So what I'd say is that people do start to scarper. They are sort of like, oh no, spirit wardens, oh no. And you can see people are leaving in their droves. And you suspect that some of them are clutching their spirit bane charms as well. Again, it's sort of superstition about the spirit wardens that they are bad news, but ghosts are worst in a sense. So you're sort of using that to your ability. But what I will say, though, is that people are going, spirit wardens! And that does capture the attention from outside. And so I will fill in a clock, or start a clock, for enforcements are arriving shortly. It's going to be a 4-segment clock. as a result.
4. Okay, great. And then she will make her way round to the back windows and maybe just check if a bin is in place. And
There is a bin.
Good.
It's in
Okay,
place.
great.
Yeah.
Comfy bin.
She'll just stay near the bin.
You'll stay near the bin. Wonderful. Let's go back to the people in the room. You can hear there's the shouts from inside. It's like Spirit Warden, Spirit Warden. It starts to the clientele. Some of them coming out of their reverie a little bit. You hear specifically, Sugar, the sounds of Layella, who clearly was at the back sorting stuff out. And she's like, "What is this nonsense, Laurent? Laurent, where are you? Oh, for goodness' sake!"
I'll step out to meet her before she finds Laurent for sure.
Yeah, so you move back to curtain, and you see this in this woman as well. Again, it looks very similar to Laurent as well, except without the moustache. But it's sort of like, so it goes, "Oh, I didn't expect you to see you here."
Layella. Kiss.
Oh, kiss.
Don't worry. You know, there's a new opening. The spirit wardens, they're always going crazy out there. Dead bodies everywhere. Am I right lately? Feels like it.
I hope they don't come. We've had a bit of an accident back in the warehouse.
Oh no! What? Oh, you need the spirit wardens to be taken care of. What happened?
It was a bit of a fight. There's some arguments about someone moving bins, and I just
no!
Layella. It's fine. I just I know that like there was an inspection coming up, and I just wanted to make sure everything was prim and proper. And just,
I think the inspection's underway now. Tell me, and I'm holding her hand at this point. Yeah, but they're fine. Did you say that like a little fight broke out, like that ended in death?
Well, there was blood, and we're missing someone as well. I think some of the I don't know, they talk about a fight happening in Crowfoot, and I'm just trying to make sure everyone's okay. And I don't know.
Layella, darling, show me, and Sugar will take care of it.
Oh, you're so good to us, Sugar. I'm so glad we met. And it sort of starts to take you to the back of the warehouse, leaving.
And I sort of like cough under my breath, like, get rid of the product.
Yeah. Absolutely. So leaving the 3 individuals in the curtains. Laurent, who's just sort of calmly just sat there on a pew, like idly, like thumbing through some of the LPs, and sort of laughing to himself a little bit, in his trance.
I think I would turn to Ware at this point and say, well, you know that sneaking we were going to maybe do together?
Yeah.
How about this? I'll teach you how to act like a black coat, just for fun, and maybe you teach me how to sneak, and we find where they're keeping all these things, and maybe the good doctor wouldn't mind coming with us too for role playing purposes. You know, we got to pretend like we're actually black coats, as horrible as that is.
Sense. How I turn to Sugar. Oh no,
Sugar's left.
Damn it.
With Lara. Yeah,
how long do you think this is going to last?
You're a doctor. So you know that the effects of trance powder. You've got mere minutes or something before Laurent comes out of his stupor. You've seen the effects of this before.
Okay. In that case, what is in this booth of ours?
You have curtains. You have what looks like to be a box that's full of a couple of these sort of these discs as well.
Big
but
of
like
a box?
like a, let's say the size of an LP case.
Crate,
so
like a crate of LPs.
Yeah, like a crate of LPs. Yeah, but you've taken both Cuff and Sugar have taken a couple already, so it's not full.
But not big enough to stuff a man in.
I mean, you could
just
absolutely
have to chop them up a bit. That's all.
You could absolutely stuff a man in it. I think there'll be more man than box. I think it's what I.
How flammable do these curtains look? What if we set fire to the crate?
Are you setting fire to the curtains, Cuff?
Well, yeah, I am. I'm
Great.
flashing back, and
Okay. Well,
The moment that Sugar left earlier, and I'm sitting by my own little crate that I was having my little fire in earlier and heating my tools in to deal with my gammy eye and trying to pull the bits out of infection. I just had a feeling that I might need to do some work on my eye going away. It's so new to me. I'm not used to it. That I bring my tools with me, especially for creating fires, which I think would be probably tinkering tools, I think.
Yep, yeah. I would say you don't need to necessarily flashback. I'm not going to give you any sort of stress. You could just have those with you, then in the moment. Yeah,
and absolutely. I've got them.
Yeah, you've got them.
And I'm seeing if I can set fire to the actual the actual tapes themselves first of all.
They don't. Again, they have a hard, brittle quality, but so they're not necessarily flammable. I mean, you can try. It will take some time, you think, but I will say the most flammable thing in here would be those curtains. Yeah,
I'm going to set fire to the bottom of the curtains, just a tiny part at the bottom, because I think it will cause a distraction as well while we sneak and find the rest of them. But just in a corner, maybe the corner by our lovely sleeping happy friend.
Super. Okay.
And I'm going to tranquilize Laurent.
Oh, that's very kind.
Super.
When you feel like things are going wrong,
This is exactly how it should go.
Yes. What I'm going to say, Lou, again, you're in the doctor, you're in a good position. Laurent is sort of away with the proverbial fairies. So again, it's easy enough to, again, if you use up one of your slots to bring out sort of a quick syringe or a bit of chloroform, perhaps. He sort of just goes, oh, marvelous. And then just falls back a little bit, maybe bashes his head a little bit, but not completely out. So that's fine. So you've got that. Cuff. This is a finesse roll. You're going to try to be dexterous to quote yourself, light a little bit in the corner of this curtain.
Just a little bit, just a bit.
The consequence is that if you don't succeed at this, it's not the little bit in the corner. It's the whole curtain is going to go up very quickly, and the whole place will be on fire with quite a number of punters still in the building. Try and sneak out of that one. Let's do a finesse roll, I would suggest. I would say
good.
You're using your tinkering tools as well, so you're going to add a d6 to this roll as well. How many dots have you got? How many?
I have the standard 0 dots.
Incredible. So with that 6 from your equipment, you're just going to roll a d6. I'm going to say this is a desperate situation as well. So you'll mark XP for this. And what I mean by desperate is that it's slightly different in the deep cuts. You have to get a 6 in order for it to succeed. If you get a 1 to 5, you're going to have this consequence. Unless you can introduce, maybe Where can help you in some way, or maybe you want a flashback to make sure it's more controlled. That's what I'm just going to say, but you need a 6 on this one success, because it's very desperate what you're doing.
Shamini's eyes when you said desperate situation.
I know.
Yeah, but desperate means XP. Do it.
I think
Desperate for
she's
Shamini means she gets extra shit. That's
Yeah, I was going to say, well, do you want to help out Where? So you might get some XP for this if you want to help with the desperate stuff.
I do.
Yeah.
Very much want us to not set fire to everything. That would be great. Can I? Oh no, that doesn't. Oh, this is more to help. Okay, science pause. If I had some alcohol, would it be flammable?
Alcohol. Well, it depends what kind of alcohol.
No, as in like a
Ethanol.
drink. No, as in like an alcoholic beverage that is mostly
you like
water.
flambe like a Christmas pudding or something, right?
Like a 40%
rum
proof would be.
Yeah, that would do it.
Quite flammable.
Where would definitely drink drinks that would go up in flames. I think that's fair.
Yeah.
I would allow Where to use one of their slots of equipment to bring out the hip flask that they always have on them to take a big swig, perhaps.
Yeah.
If this is what you want to use for the alcohol and then just breathe fire, I don't know.
I just wonder if that could help us target maybe make a little trail of alcohol
Okay.
so that it's.
I was going to more chaotic route. Yeah, but you can like
No,
make sure
no,
that
I'm
it's
I
trying
loved
to-
it though, Fiona. I loved it.
Sorry.
I'm trying to. We're trying to avoid the whole curtain going up. I'm trying to be
Yes,
like,
clearly we are.
here's
Yeah.
the alcohol. Here's the fire.
Yeah, fine. We'll do that. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, so mark off one of your equipment. So you bring out this thing, and so you're like, and you're just sort of dousing at this little corner. So you hope that that bit will go up first and be sort of more
Yeah.
concentrated in that. Absolutely. So it's still a desperate action. So you're still going to have to get a 6 in order for it not to have that bad consequence. But you do get an extra die because you are helping, and both because it's a desperate thing, and Asta is helping. You both get some XP. So mark down that XP that you got from the desperate.
Nice. Yeah, here we go. All right, 2 dice.
Yep.
Let's do it. Oh, one of them's a 1,
Yeah.
and the other one
Yeah.
is a 6! You can't really see it, but there it is!
Yeah.
Controlled fire, baby!
So controlled. Absolutely
Somehow.
100% in
For
control.
now.
Yeah, this somehow. I think the way I see it, Cuff, you're like, okay, you're trying to start fires, and Alistair, Ware sort of goes, no, and brings out the alcohol and just sort of pours it a little bit and like,
Flambe.
and so yeah, this part of the curtain starts to slowly go up, and actually the curtains themselves are a bit moldy as well, so it takes a little bit of time, and actually because of I've described this place as almost like a chapel, and so there's a bit of stone. So there's a little bit of like damp as well in these particular curtains. Again, maybe that's what's keeping the sound in these particular private booths. So it's taking its time to go, but the smoke is starting to come out. And so yeah, you now have a fire slowly starting in this place, giving you 3 the perfect cover to sneak out in the smoke if you wish to.
Brilliant.
Super.
Shall we? Let's find where they keep all these things and maybe arrange for the rest of them to go up in smoke too.
Going
Before we
yep.
leave, I'm going to put the set of headphones on Lawrence, unconscious. form.
Nice. Very cool.
Get him
Like
high
that
on
a
his own
lot.
supply. Love it.
Nice.
Well, like he's just kind
Nice.
of, drifted off and maybe, suffers some smoke inhalation or something.
Yeah,
I
you're
don't know.
sort of framing so that it looks like he's done this to his own product. I like it. Moving over back to Sugar, you are following Layella out into the warehouse bit. You go past other curtains and stuff, other punters, and you go back into sort of there's definitely, as you get in, there are hundreds and hundreds of these sort of boxes, these wooden boxes. And you see there are assistants sort of going through them, trying to find individual discs. Like clearly they're trying to catalog stuff. And she's like, I'm so sorry, we had a big shipment in the other day, and I just want to make sure that there's nothing untowards, with these inspections. Everywhere is just so corrupt at this point. It's just...
of course. Well, yeah, before the Blackcoats come back here, you're going to want to make sure your books are. Have you looked over them? Do you want me to have a look? How they're looking?
Would you, darling? I just.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, it's Lawrence the one for numbers. I'm just here just to make sure people are okay and stuff. They've been talking
Oh
about.
yeah. Lawrence is busy, entertaining. Oh no, not the unionizing. No.
Typical Lawrence, just off like socializing. He's.
Oh,
you
know.
You know it is.
Oh yeah, I'd be happy to take a look. Let's do it quickly, because I heard some whisperings. Look, Layla, I don't want to worry you,
Yes.
but I heard some whisperings. You might have a competing faction trying to come in here on your territory. I swear I recognize someone out there, and I just we got to be fast. Let me help you.
Who did you see?
Have you heard of the Harriers?
Oh, we had heard a few bits and pieces about them. They apparently sold Spark down at the wrestling pit. Very uncouth.
Yeah,
But they're
yeah.
here. They're here.
I swear I saw one of them. I can
one?
point them out in a second.
Yes, sure. Yeah, no, we'll make sure that
Yeah, you know
sure.
that there's that one kind of like really likes like fine clothing, lots of nice fabrics, has facial hair, I think
Yes.
goes by Where?
Oh, yes, we have heard about this individuals. She sort of points to like one of those sort of broadsheets, and you can see like there's like a description in the broadsheets. Again, if we zoom in with the camera, it sort of like reenacts what happened at the wrestling pit, and there's just like loaf of bread question mark, and then maybe like a sketch of where next to it. That's
Yeah,
bad
yeah.
news. Yeah,
That's
it's bad
the
news if they're
one.
here. That's clearly they're gonna try and take our stuff. All right.
I know. Okay, yeah. So we got to work for it. Let me look at the books for you because you don't want to have trouble on both fronts, both the law and another faction coming in.
Okay, if you could, darling, I'll see if I can get some of the boys to come out and just maybe have a quick sweep of the punters, and maybe we'll close it early for the evening if we find them, and deal with them of our own way. Thank you, darling.
Indeed. Yeah, of course. Anytime.
There's a kiss, and
Kiss.
kiss, and leaves. Yeah.
My
leaves you
goal
alone.
is to obviously pocket whatever ledgers I come across.
Absolutely. This feels to me like a either a study or a study or a survey. Again, you're in the sort of part of the warehouse where you can see that people are sort of keeping you in mind because you came in with Layla, so it's not whilst it's not controlled position, you're sort of like risky standard on that front. So those are the two skills I would suggest.
Would
do
you
have
allow me
any-
like a finesse here to actually pocket it? Because I feel
Yeah.
like she said she would just show me the books, so I feel like I don't actually have to find them as much as
Yeah, I like
get
that.
it, like put them
Yeah.
into my jacket.
Yeah, it's a simple thing. Like you think it could be a big ledger of some sort. Yeah, I'd let you have finesse. That sounds good to me. So yeah, roll your finesse for me, please.
2 dice.
Let me know what the highest is.
5.
5.
Oh,
That's a mix-
I guess I didn't go over what the threat was, but
I didn't either, to be fair. The threat would be that someone spots you, in that sort of sense. And there's definitely like some weird glances go your way as you go into like an office space that says Branch Twins on it. And yeah, easily enough, you sort of shake through the different sort of drawers, and you find this sort of very big looking ledger, and as you open it up you can see the dates and times of where these shipments have sort of come in. They look quite sporadic at a quick glance. There's a couple in one night, there's a couple in previous weeks, but they seem to go back 6 months or so, and it usually indicates number of boxes and how many sort of these discs are in them. But yeah, you have but what the notable thing is that they don't arrive here or at the docks per se. There's just names of streets, and it seems like all different streets from all random walks of places. So you've got some in Char Hollow, you've got some in Dunslow. There's even 1 or 2 in Whitestone as well. So it seems like whenever they get these shipments, they just appear out of nowhere.
okay. I'll use up a load spot to like actually try and
Yes,
take
I like
this.
Yeah. Yeah, and what I would say as well, yeah, because you feel like the heat of people sort of like looking and like questioning it. So you have been spotted. That's the consequence.
Yeah.
It says. So if you'd like to push yourself to have a reduced sort of consequence, I'd say this is like 2 stress you've got from this as you're sort of like quickly trying to look through things. You
Well, you
can
know
push
what?
yourself. Yeah.
If it's gonna be too stress, I'll do a super speedy flashback. Is just that I've been in disguise this whole time and wasn't
Yes.
disguised when I met them. None of this is my original look, so I don't
Perfect.
care if they see me.
Perfect. Yeah. So you just take off whatever like look you had with the Branch Twins, and then so you are just now Sugar. Perfect. So yeah, take that. 2 stress. Perfect. All right. As you are sort of leaving the office, pocketing this book, you hear a couple of things. Firstly, the shout of spirit wardens, fire, and sort of general sort of rowdiness as the punters are sort of taking off their cans and shouting. Again, it's a sort of rabble that's happening within the main building itself. I'm going to go to the doll at this point because I appreciate you're on side. Oh, sorry.
think
Yeah,
I
I was gonna. I'll
sorry.
probably go towards the back door. Is that where you're
Yeah.
gonna come? Yeah, do.
I was going to say, I think I've basically taken myself out of the main action. So if anyone comes out the back door, that's when I can come back in, and I'm happy to wait for all of that.
Yeah. I'll make my way to the back door as an exit. I wouldn't go back the front way.
Okay.
Yeah, and we'll say that now. So, Sugar, you sort of again, people are starting to move about. Quite a number of the task force at the back here are going towards the sort of where the disturbance is because they've heard that a rival gang crew is in the middle of doing a heist in their particular things. So yeah, you make your way out and you spot the doll just waiting out there by a bin.
Hello, Sugar.
Oh, hey there, doll.
Where are the others?
They're inside. They're doing their thing. Ultimately, this is your heist. In fact, all of the products right there. I'm holding the door open. It's all right in there.
The doll will
You
look
remember
up
the deal.
and see the smoke coming out of the building.
Yeah.
And just sort of pull out the bell from wherever she's pocketed it. And just go, Sugar, should I start ringing this now? Or are you actually going to help?
The spirit wardens, if they came here, is that what you're trying to... What would that accomplish? You want that? I mean, I don't know. They might put out the fire. We need this fire to go. Honestly, it doesn't look... I don't know how much smoke that is. I don't know if that's going to take the whole place down.
Wouldn't that be what you wanted?
Yeah, it'd be great if it spread.
I'm sure they can see to that. Tell me, what do you know about demons, Sugar?
Well, we all got them, right?
In a way, yes. Look, I love my team.
Can I tell if that's a lie or not?
Is that a lie?
It loves me.
I have an ability that I can always tell when someone is lying to
Loves
me.
What did I say?
That you love your
Love
team.
your team. Is it true?
There's a truth in it.
And I think
if you can always tell. The doll is connected to the team, and there are probably individuals that they care about in the team, but maybe not entirely. And I might need the Wraith's help on something, and I do not believe that my friends have the ability to help me with it.
Oh, I see. And you're being truthful in this?
And she's being very truthful on that.
Okay, well, look, your friends might be in a bit of a pickle in there. If you complete this job, I'm sure we can come to an arrangement.
That sounds just lovely. And she'll pocket the belt and she'll walk inside.
incredible.
Great. I feel like I dip out.
Yeah. Yeah, you take a moment seeing the door swish behind the doll, and you just maybe get your pipe, light it yourself.
Yeah.
Below the smoke, and as smoke disappears, you've gone. Interesting. So, let's go to inside the cloister, where, let's say, there's definitely a lot of smoke happening. The smell of burning fabric is happening, and I believe the sort of plan in all this like confusion and shouts of people sort of like screaming suddenly, again, that sort of thing where the lantern light is sort of like dipping and you have those shadows on it, is to sneak out. Yes.
Well, I think we need to set fire to the warehouse first. So this was just the starting fire. We're starting to get people leaving.
You're creating more fire.
The aim is to find where the main thingy things are stored, or all the discs are stored where they're coming in.
Yeah.
I think the doctor will probably want to like look through boring paperwork to find out where they're getting them from, so that maybe we can get more. And I would also like to, on the way, because obviously there's the ones that are in use right now.
Yeah.
So I would like to dance around, metaphorically speaking.
No. I saw movement.
No, there was actual
I would like
dancing
to
there. Yeah.
literally dance around the main silent disco room and yoink all the cylinders that are out right now, and end up with, you know, if there's any people here, I'm yoinking their cylinder, bugger off you. I'm ending up with like piles of these discs that I would like to at some point throw out of the window.
I love it. I would say that this is your focus. We'll come to the other two in a second. I think, you're like, product. We need product. So here's the thing: is this a desperate situation because people are screaming? So you get to do the extra D6 on your
yoink yoink yoink.
yoink. What I will say is that if you don't do well on this, you are going to take a level 2 harm, which is smoke inhalation.
Smoke inhalation.
Yes.
It's not great, is it, with the smoke?
No.
And that this is not a healthy
And
situation.
I'd say I'm going to give you another threat as well, so you can add another d6 to this as well, because you have people screaming and rushing. So that consequence is that they'll bump into you and you will drop this product and it will break and crack.
Seems very likely, doesn't it? Now that you mention it, that's so plausible.
But it's fine. You're dancing away.
Dancing. Can I use finesse because I'm dancing?
I feel finesse works because it's almost like you're doing like a movement.
Yeah.
You know, like a song. Maybe one of the cans gets unplugged from a gramophone, and we just hear a snatch of something akin to the Scissor Sisters. You know, dancing around, and you sort of like dance in time, like some sort of weird Doctor Who moment. And yeah, you pick up various discs as you go. So yeah. Roll for me a finesse with your +1 for the threat, and obviously you get 1 for because of your desperate action as well. You need to get a 6 in order for this to be successful because of the desperate stuff.
Yeah. 1 6.
1 6. What's the next highest one?
4. 1 2 4
Fantastic.
6.
So what I'm going to say is that we've got 2 threats coming in here. One is like being bashed into and dropping the product, and one is getting the smoke inhalation. You can assign the 6 to one of them, so you won't get that level of harm coming in. So it's either you take the harm or you drop the product you're carrying.
Oh, I'll take the harm because Arison wanted some discs.
Obvious
Absolutely.
answer.
So I'd say Cuff and the good doctor, you are sort of like, again, you're making your way through. I'm not going to make you roll for it because, again, you're leaving, going to the background. You're like, where? And you look back and there's a moment, a freeze frame moment as just on the dance floor, this skinny gentleman is just like, what? Like piling them up like pizzas. And it's slowly getting there. And maybe you need to drag him out of the dance floor. He's like, the smoke is filling the place at this moment. Again, people are rushing out of the front door, but you are like, you've got him out, but yeah, he's coughing and spluttering. He'll need a doctor to get rid of that level of harm coming in.
Oh, wouldn't it be great if you had one?
But yeah, and at this point you see the doll from behind. Again, you're in this sort of warehouse, and you can see again people are crying. You can hear the sounds of like calls and more importantly, you hear the sounds of sirens. As clearly the Bluecoats have been informed at this point that, and the firefighters guild as well. You can hear that the sounds of emergency services coming to this place, surrounding it and sealing it off. So that is sort of the outside threat at this point.
The doll was just going as a back door, right? Is this like a docking bay?
Yeah.
It's like, is this where trucks would come in and things like that? I'm just wondering, like, I know that in lots of places that, you know, actually have deliveries and stuff, they have like shipping manifests on clipboards pumped up by the entrance ways and things like that. Is there anything like that we can kind of grab on our way out?
Like the way you've come out, what it sort of in my head is you sort of come out to a little bit of a platform. You see the doll further down, and you can see that there is like a couple of like papers and stuff that's stuck around. It's not like full manifest, but you can see there's like a little bit of information, essentially more sort of a capture of the moment of the previous shipment, not as fully detailed as Sugar has got just now, but you definitely can pick up 1 or 2 of those things if you're looking for them. Yeah, but you can see the doll. So again, from your position up there, is there as she sort of comes in, as looking up at you. So you've all sort of within the same area at this point.
So we need to find this back room. I think I would go straight up to the doll and go, right, we're nearly there. We just need to take out the rest of the supply. Have you seen a back room or anything, Primula?
Oh, I just came through it.
Brilliant. Okay, fantastic. I'm going to march into there and I'm going to unpack the huge amount of demolition tools I brought with me.
You kept them very well hidden.
Did you though? Are they heavy?
They're heavy.
Cool. So that means you were conspicuous. That's good to know. I'm just going to put another tick on some clocks.
Oh,
Continue.
God. I'm conspicuous. So, and I'm going to just quickly, I'm just going to get to work. I'm just going to take out these bricks of explosives and place them in near the biggest container of these things.
Yep.
And start to kind of pull the fuse wire away from it, leading out of the room. And I'm just going to set fire to the fuse and pray.
While she's laying that, I'm just following her around, making sure there's nothing that we don't want to take with us before
Yeah.
everything is exploded.
That's fine. I think, like, leading up to this, what's going to be a very explosive kind of role, is that, yeah, you're taking time. The reason why I've ticked clocks, again, you can hear the sirens of police enforcement's coming. You hear shouts of the Bluecoats, and even some inspectors from the outside as well. They are going to swarm this place if you do not leave. So this is a very final thing. What I will say, just turning to Ware quickly, there's a window.
A window?
Yeah.
A window of the same size and shape as the one I've been looking for.
It looks very similar. Yeah.
I stagger
Yeah.
towards the window with my pizza box pile of discs,
Mm-hmm.
and leaning the discs against the wall.
Yeah.
One hand opening the window,
Yeah.
being up, leaning out, looking down.
Yeah.
What do I see?
Now you see a bin.
A nicely padded bin
Looks like a padded bin. Yeah.
full of rubbish,
Mm-hmm.
and I will throw the whatchamacallits discs out the window.
Okay.
The temptation
throwing
to
them
flash back to having moved the bin an inch
Well,
to the
that's-
right is just so strong.
I was definitely thinking of, like, if you didn't look, there definitely wouldn't have been a bin
Yeah.
there. That was going to be my.
I was really hoping you didn't look. You weren't going to look, and
Yeah,
it was
that's
going
what
to
I
be
was
the
thinking
doll
as well,
was
but-
going to flash back to just push the bin slightly
the
more
bin
under
back.
the window.
Yeah.
But you looked. So
You
I will
look, that's
also,
fine.
I will also, I will also look for some rubbish bins in here and chuck them out the window as well, because basically I want to cover over the discs with rubbish so that.
Oh, nice.
will just
Yeah,
see
fair
rubbish.
enough. So yeah, I feel that this is going to be. It's just more of a.
Oh, you know what? I'm also going to check out the window under the rubbish is this very incriminating black coat I'm wearing that I would like to
know.
not be seen with.
What? Fair enough. Okay. How
you
do you
should all
think,
be using your black coats to set things on fire.
I feel like this feels more a finesse thing, rather than, say, a wreck where you're trying to just throw these things out. You're trying to do it carefully so that they hit into these things. That's what I'm going to say to you. So this is finesse. I'm going to tell you again that this is a desperate situation. So you're going to mark your XP on this, and you're going to get the extra thing because you're trying to throw these out carefully whilst the building you're in is on fire, and you are coughing because of the harm. So it's going to be a reduced effect as well. So even though it's desperate, it's a reduced effect. The consequence is if you don't get that 6, half of the things you're throwing out will be broken. And on the fox, you've missed it. Well,
My precious babies. Okay, I'm going for it.
all right. Let me know what you get.
That was 2 6s.
Yeah, edge.
Still.
An edge as well. Yeah. So basically, yeah. So you can have a bonus effect to this. So I'd say that you don't all of them manage to hit into the rubbish as well, and it takes no time at all then to throw extra rubbish on it, so it is completely hidden. But you do have an ongoing D6 if you would like to use it for a different role at some point on that. So yes, even though one or two of them do smash a little bit because you're like testing, but then you're like, oh, we don't have time. The place is on fire. So yeah.
If you'd have thrown them out the window and broken them all, I was fully gonna slap you in the face.
That's mild from the dock.
Just to check in with the doll, is there anything you'd like to do? You can see Cuff is setting up these explosions, explosive tools, and the doctor is helping them a little bit.
I think the doll is just sort of looking around and just sort of watching these three moving everything around and sort of being fairly in control. And I think she just sort of makes her way to the back door and just sort of make sure the path is clear for people to get out very quickly.
Yeah,
because
I think this is good,
that's
to be honest.
about
Yeah,
all
you can
she's
you
good
can
for right now.
No, that's fine. I think that's actually probably a good thing because at the moment you can see that there's a lot more police enforcement coming around the front, and you can start to hear people shouting and starting to come around to the back of the warehouse as well. So you've only got mere moments and that sort of stuff. Let's go to Cuff at this point. We'll do this as the sort of final roll of the house before we move on. Cuff, you have your demolitions tools. This feels like you're doing a wreck roll because you're using unleashing savage force. I'm going to give you this is a risk. This is very, very risky what you're doing. Sorry, a desperate roll, so you're going to get XP for this as well. And because the doctor is helping you, you're also going to mark XP doctor as well for this desperate thing. You're going to get another D6 on top of that, and you're going to have rather than a limited effect, because again you're trying to do this quickly, you're going to have a standard effect because the doll is helping you, so they're like going, they're coming, you got to go now. So you're just taking that extra moment to be like, done. So in total, I think you have, how much do you have in rec without?
I have 1 in rec.
All right, so you're going to have 2d6. You need to get a 6.
Yeah. If I know the Bluecoats are coming, I'm going to keep my black coat on. But I'm going to try and get out there as fast as possible.
Yeah. If you and the consequence of this, if you don't succeed, is that you don't set off the explosions in time, the Bluecoats will come and take all of you into custody because you are literally caught red-handed trying to blow up the cloister.
No. Okay. So I
No
need 2 dice.
pressure,
Do I need a 6?
You need a 6 because it's desperate. If you
Can
want,
I give my edge as well? No, I can, right?
Yeah. Do you want to give the edge? Absolutely.
Yes,
you can give the
yes.
edge. So you get another d6. Yeah, I have to say that's not only is the effect, but also from that. So you get another d6. So
Okay.
That's 3.
So I've got 3.
You need a 6.
I got a 2, a 3, and my highest was a 5.
Push it.
Push it.
I'd like to push
You
it.
have to.
Push it real good.
Okay. I think that's prowess is the one. So you've got to take your number in prowess. Let me just double check. I've got that.
I have 3 in prowess as well.
No, not prowess. Resolve. Sorry, it is. No, wait. No, it is prowess. Prowess. No, I got it right. Sorry.
Yes.
Prowess.
So Harry is.
And again, basically you're going to take a number of stress. The higher the number, the less stress you'll take, but you will sort of reduce the consequence.
Okay.
And I'd say the reduced consequence, so you know, is that yes, the stuff will go off, and some of you will escape, but one of you will be taken into custody. Sorry, go for it, Sugar.
Could she use it to increase the effect of the roll?
For the explosion? Yeah, you can do. If
Right.
what the power, so the push yourself. It's more about you reducing the consequence. That's why I've been running.
I think you can also increase your effect, like it's in either. Well, yeah.
Yeah, well, or increase.
Sure,
the
sure.
effect,
Or don't have consequences. Sure. I guess I don't care if you all fall, but
We don't want to go to jail, Josephine.
Yeah, good to know, Sugar. Yeah, I feel like Cuff's gonna be more concerned about the consequences, especially if there are Bluecoats around. She really hates them.
Yeah.
All right, rolling 3 dice. My cover by 3 points of prowess.
So yep, that's fine. But what I'm saying is that the reduced consequence for this pushing yourself means that only one of you will have to be taken away, and you have to decide who that is.
Haven't we got an extra 6 somewhere to use from someone? Someone got
Sorry,
an edge.
we're gonna get it. We're gonna get the 6. Oh no, this is still gonna happen even if I'm successful.
You had an edge
there.
Alistair can give one. Yeah, you want to give it, Alistair?
We're still at the point now that at least one of us is going to jail. Like,
Okay,
cross that boundary now.
If you will allow that I'm coming in, so I've got to find an explanation for helping, right?
Yeah. What are you thinking? Let me know what you're thinking.
I don't know. I was going to think of something really quickly. I stagger. I've chucked my stuff out the window.
Yeah.
I'm coughing. I'm staggering into a big room full of boxes.
Yeah.
I'm seeing Cuff trying to set fuses.
Yep.
What's the thing that's going to go wrong?
We're going
I think
to
that's going to
jail.
go wrong.
No, but
Is one person.
why? Like, what's the thing that's going to cause that? That's going to.
So the Bluecoats are surrounding the place, and because you're taking time to blow up this place, means that you're going to get caught in the act of actually blowing up, which looks super bad for all of you.
Unless we can blow it up quicker, is that?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
But what I'm saying is currently, this is us pushing us. We've already rolled, and because it wasn't a 6, because it's a desperate roll, we're it's still going to be a reduced consequence. So one person will still have to go to jail when the pushing itself is. But we're getting this extra die for Cuff to do the push themselves roll.
Ideas. How do I help Cuff blow things up quicker?
I think that's it. I think one of us is going to prison anyway.
Have you got a big fan that you can fan the flame?
Or the vodka. Maybe if you just pour the vodka.
The booze.
Yeah, I can definitely help set fire to things quicker. Yeah, I think.
That's it.
Yeah, perfect.
will-
So, yeah,
Or create smoke so they
go
can't
up and
see us.
down.
perfect.
I will go up and down, scattering alcohol from my hip flask.
Yeah,
over
you're
the wooden
desperately going like,
crates.
this is how I can help. Absolutely,
great,
great. So
okay,
yeah, so you're going to
great.
get another d6 from where on his front. Let's
Before-
see if we can take that stress and
come
reducing the consequence. So it's not everyone goes to jail, just one person.
You're kidding me. I've got 2 6s and a 5 and a 3.
You get an edge.
That's great.
That help?
You do get an edge. You don't take any stress. Incredible. I want you to narrate, Cuff, for me how this explosion goes up, and then,
Okay.
yeah, I want to as the Bluecoats are rushing around the corner. The smoke is happening. You can see like these vinyl records are sort of like in their cases with the fire, sort of going. Explain to us how this place blows up.
Okay. As I set the fuse, I turn to Ware and Arison and Primula, and I'm like, get out! It's gonna. And just as I'm about to finish it, the first crate in the back just explodes, and it's so loud that our ears just. There's no sound, that's just ringing at this point. As smoke starts to pour out and bright lights from start to pop up from this back room. I kind of use the back of my black coat to kind of shield myself from any kind of debris and fire, which I'm still wearing. And just attempt to like pull us all out of the end of the big building and just kind of tumble into the street outside.
Okay. Excellent. The cloister is no more. We sort of shoot ahead a couple of hours and we just see this massive hole where this building was. Thankfully, a lot of the punters were able to get out because of the calls of fire, the calls of like spirit wardens coming, etc. And it is sort of cordoned off.
Deception mission. Sorry.
Deception mission. The Bluecoats are standing around keeping guard. Laurent is found underneath some rocks and some bits of masonry, badly injured, but not dead.
Hooray.
Good.
He's
Not good for
taken
us,
into,
is it, to be honest?
he's
Yay,
taken
it's
into
probably
custody,
bad.
and
I'm
Layella as well, his sister, is also taken in for questioning about holding harmful vices and stuff as well.
Yeah,
Oh,
good.
She's gonna absolutely dob us in.
There's also another person found in the rubble, and I'm going to leave it up to the four of you who is left to be taken by the Bluecoats. I'm not going to choose because that's not fair, but is there someone willing to...
Does anyone want to go, or should we just roll for it?
I can't run. I've got really fucked up lungs, so
Yeah.
True.
You want
I
to just
would
make
be
it you?
I would lean that way, but
Okay.
Okay.
If you're offering it, Shams, like...
I would do anything to not go with them. I would do anything.
the thing is, I think it's not going to be Cuff and Primula.
Couple
because
punch you out if it
Primula, I
looks like
think, was
she's going to be
leaving.
left.
But
Yeah. It's not going to be Cuff or Primula, and if Arison is like struggling, then Alistair would probably help. So I feel like
Sure. I'd say then, out of the
Can't
rubble...
be annoying for 2 whole episodes and then make a heroic sacrifice.
or can I?
Shamini can and she will, and she'll bring
We
in a new
pull-
character.
Can freaking will.
We pull out and we see this rubble as people are clearing out bits, and a body is brought out, not dead, unconscious, but we see the form of Ware, this individual, again, coughing and spluttering, and is taken away by the Bluecoats to be questioned for their involvement in the destruction of the cloister. We'll come to that in maybe next episode about what happens to Ware, etc. But to bring it to a close, as obviously 3 out of the 4 Harriers have managed to get away, including our new friend as well. Let's go to XP first, and this is for everyone as well, for those people who took part in the mission. So let's do crew XP first. She says, trying to find it.
Oh,
All right.
boy.
So at the end of the session, for each item below, mark 1 XP or 2 of the item occurred. Did you require product, execute sales, or secure new territory?
Yes.
Yeah.
Success.
you did. I would also say you are able to go back later on and acquire all the stuff that Ware had let out. So
Running with a
2
bin.
Yeah,
Thanks,
run with a bin.
Ware.
You get 2 XP for that.
We're so sneaky.
Did you contend with challenges above your current station? Yes, you did. You had a couple of people hot on your tail, so you get an XP for that.
So, sorry, was it 2 for the first one, did you say?
2 for the first one, because you got a lot of this product with you.
That's 7 total.
Did you bolster your crew's reputation or develop a new one?
Feel like, yeah.
You
In a
did
bad
develop-
way.
Yeah, I feel like you did, so you get another XP. And did you express the goals, drives, and inner conflict and nature of the crew? I think so. Like,
What's the nature of your crew? I don't know.
What is the nature of our
Vice-
crew?
It just says
Yeah.
vice dealers on this one, and
Oh, we were
supply.
doing Vice stuff.
Oh yeah, we were definitely involved.
Is that what
in-
that means? Like, you just have to
Yeah.
take part in a heist that's to do with your thing? Is that like a
Yeah.
gimme one, basically?
Yeah, or you can like kind of set what you want, like your reputation to be. Like, are you weird or
Oh.
anything like that?
We are over the top, I think, should probably be what we should go for, because that feels to be the way we do everything right now.
I don't know. Is
Saying
it? I might be remembering wrong. Is it not defined anymore? I feel like we had to
It's not-
define.
We normally define it. It's not on the character sheet currently, but I like that idea of using like what your nature is. So if it
Yeah, I
was
like
that over the top or
It
whatever
doesn't
was
need to
we
be
said.
that. That was just Emily. making a joke.
Yeah, no, I like that. I do like
Yeah.
that.
Flashy, I guess.
Flashy.
Flashy.
God, we are a bit flashy, aren't we?
We'll have another one.
Yeah.
Build a
Alright.
flashy character,
That's
and you're made
9.
us flashy.
That's 9. So you got 1.5 clocks filled on your character sheets, on your crew character sheet. And so when you get 2, you can get some new extra bits and pieces. Again, we can go on this off stream.
Nice.
Then looking at your actual individual playbooks, you have the first one is, did you embody a core nature of your playbook? And usually, like, it says stuff like, description and influence and stuff like up in the corner there.
I think I
I
did.
think I did.
I'm gonna give
Coercion
you
and
that one.
violence.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's some violence involved in some arson.
setting
I think
people on fire. Oh,
arcane
you patted people
power.
down,
I
didn't you?
will have that.
Yeah.
I used a
Hmm.
narcotic
Yes.
on someone.
You did? Yeah.
I
Mine
didn't
says-
again, but like any day now, I'm gonna do some proper sneaking.
You're going to jail.
I'm gonna
You
sneak out of jail.
You almost
I'm gonna
almost
sneak.
snuck.
I almost snuck, exactly.
You almost did. Did anyone express their beliefs, heritage, or background? Again, I feel like if you use your stuff, so I know, for example, the doctor, you went and did some gathered information at the clinic and stuff, so you're using sort of your background expertise in that, for example.
Oh yeah, great.
The doll, you used ghosts, you used your sort of abilities to spy and get that information. And Cuff, for sure, you were like, Blackcoats, get the Blackcoats.
Yeah, I don't know if that's actually in my background, but I will just I will fill one out. But that's not, it's not because I know anything about black coats or anything.
No, I don't know.
Yeah, that's
Sorry,
weird
my
that They
bad.
said that. Yeah.
You can just make it part of your background.
Yeah.
It
Give
absolutely
it
No,
a
is.
go.
it's not. It's not. It's,
Holly's
Yeah,
being
definitely
don't
not
worry about it.
sneaky.
So sneaky.
And then the final one is like, did you struggle because of your vice or ambitions?
I developed a new vice.
You got a new vice, absolutely. And I think you were like, we must take more product as a result. So it wasn't really a struggle, but like maybe you would have escaped earlier if you hadn't and all that sort of thing. So yeah, I'd give you an extra one there for the doctor.
I don't think I struggled
No.
because of it.
All right. So that's the XP done. Thank you very much. So let's go to...
I filled a clock.
Already?
Me too.
What? How are you doing this?
This clock.
Yeah.
How many segments are in your clock? You've got 6.
6.
Yeah.
You,
I've only got 3.
I'm gonna say, as a very cheeky player, you guys are being very good about it. You can really stretch getting your XP. You can argue that this connection actually connects all the way back to this one person you
Oh,
knew in your
really?
backstory, and you pulled it out in this moment.
Yeah.
Shamini and Holly, have you been marking XP when you made a desperate roll?
Yes.
Okay.
I
Good,
don't
you
think
made
I've made
quite a
one
few.
yet.
You haven't.
Yeah.
no,
I made
at
2
all.
this.
I
this-
haven't either.
Yeah.
Yeah. hmm
You made
So-
one with me, Lou.
Oh yeah, that's true. I did mark it. Yes, you're right. I did.
Okay, so we're going to go out to the fallout. I will do the stuff for the factions off stream because that's not very interesting for me to work out looking at numbers. But let's talk about the heat. So, do we think this was a smooth, low exposure operation?
Oh yeah.
Oh, very low exposure, I thought. I don't think anyone would know anything happened.
Low exposure to
Pretty
to
sure.
some smoke, probably.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll
What's
take
that,
one there.
Shamini?
Yeah.
You
we'll
had
take...
high exposure to smoke.
So you're going to take 2. That's
Oh, 2.
standard.
Okay, yeah.
2. All right.
Sure.
Um,
If you say so.
I do. Was this a high profile or well connected target? I don't think it was.
No.
It was up and coming. It's on the same level as you.
Yeah.
Now, Was there open combat, destruction, or mayhem?
I don't remember
A
that.
little bit.
I think maybe
It's
wouldn't
Mitch,
have to
I
give in, but
suppose,
like
yeah,
not
a little.
necessarily.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah,
So that's
4. Okay.
4.
4. All right.
We had. Was there a death that occurred in connection to the score? There wasn't.
No.
Oh, that's good.
Literally no one. That's
How did we get away with
That's
that?
good.
miracle, isn't it? Jesus.
We blew up a building and
Oh.
no one died.
I really thought I was going to be on a murder charge there because like
Yeah.
that was.
And no one died.
God.
Enough smoke. and fire.
Were there any witnesses that can be questioned?
No, just a few. Like, do you have to do one per witness? Because if so, we're in trouble.
And were specific crew members identified?
Well, Ware got captured, so I feel
Yeah.
like that's a strong
Yes.
yes.
Only Sugar. And fuck him.
Sugar doesn't count.
I
and
was
will not.
I was in
Dob us in.
disguise. I was in
You were
disguise.
in
Oh,
disguise
yes,
the
you
whole
were in
time.
disguise.
That
But I
sneaky
did-
flashback
I
has
did
given me ideas
name-
for future flashbacks. So
I did name
yeah.
where
Good.
You did.
specifically.
that's
So
fucked.
the heat.
No,
That
that's
we've got
why
from
he
this-
was taken.
The heat that we've got from this mission is totaling to 8 just now.
Okay.
So
All
that's
right, that's-
14 total.
No,
Okay.
it's 1 wanted level plus some extra heat.
Okay.
However, we're going to come into how we're going to get rid of that heat if we need to. Let's talk about the payoff first. So payoff is going to be 1 coin per player, so that's 5,
Yay.
equal to the target, with another extra 3. So that's coin that you've got in sort of product as well. So you got 8 in total. You're also going to get reputation. You're going to get 4 reputation because it's generated by the thing. So you got that on top of that, and that's going to, I think that's 7 you've got now.
Total,
7 total. So one thing I'm going to tell you right now in terms of heat is that so we've got a wanted level. We're going to have to deal with that in a second. But for you can reduce heat by spending either coin or reputation to bring it down. We'll have to deal with the wanted level first, but you can reduce it down because wanted levels are not good because it means that Bluecoats are on high alert, especially if one of you has been.
Is the idea that if you spend coin, you are like bribing people, or
Yeah.
yeah? Oh,
It's a mixture. Whatever you want to do, again, it's that sort of montage in that sort of sense.
shall we just spend a shit ton of coin? Like
Yeah, I'm down for it.
like
It gets the blue coat.
what's the wanted level? What number is the wanted? Sorry, once we get to
I'm looking, hang on, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So you said it was 14.
yeah.
So you have 1 wanted level and then 6 heat.
Oh, so it's 8 is the wanted level.
I've just counted it now. Yeah.
So we'd have to spend 7 coin, which would leave
Well,
us with
the wanted level will get you down. It basically just helps you. Like the wanted level we can sort out, but I think it's just like you can spend reputation as well. You got some reputation.
I quite
to
like having a
burn
high
as well.
reputation. I don't know about everyone else, but it feels cool to have a good reputation.
It does feel cool.
Why don't we spend like 1 reputation and 7 coin to bring us back down to
just a wanted
just
level.
6? No, that would be down to 6. Oh, it would be down. It would still be down to wanted. We can't
I
take
think
it
you
below.
can
we
that.
need to deal with the
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
in which case, let's not spend that much coin. Let's do 1 reputation level and 5 coin and bring it down.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, to 1 wanted level.
Fantastic.
Thoughts?
So the 3.
Yes.
So the 3 Harriers who are out of jail. How do you go about like reducing this heat off you in the coming days? Using the coin and a bit of your reputation. How do you think you guys go about that? Again, you just have to narrate it. I'm not going to make you roll for it or anything like that.
My feeling is I wouldn't go myself, but I'd probably talk to Primula about some old people I may or may not have had contact with in the police force, and told her that's the best place to go to spend some money to get some heat off.
Primula will go to the police around that, and she will use her sort of general being slightly creepy, being slightly I see the future, and also if you just take this coin from me, maybe you heard nothing about the Harriers, and maybe that's better for your fate and what might happen to you. In just her general odd, slightly off way.
Sounds good. What about yourself, the Doctor? What are you thinking? If you wanted to add anything to that?
I think that as I see clients over the next couple of weeks, they notice like there's music playing in the background of a couple of appointments, and that kind of there might have been some involvement that's how we lose our rep.
That is just a common thing that it's spreading. It's not a vice per se. It's just like a sort of like an indulgence, perhaps. So it's not as bad as people say. It's like it's good for your health. Maybe that's what you're trying to brand it as a little bit as well. Nice. Sounds good. Cool. Great. Let me just double check. The entanglement from the wanted level is that the Bluecoats are on high alert after obviously an explosion happening in Silkshore of all places. So everything is shut down for a good like a week or so, like 10 days as such. So you're not able to operate as well. So not only do you lose sales, but the wraiths also lose sales as well. You definitely, I'm going to fill in another clock saying that the Bluecoats are sort of aware of you. And so you do get a sense whilst you're doing your downtime that you're being watched and tailed. Whilst you don't think where would ever dob you guys in, you're having to watch yourselves a little bit and not go out as much. Maybe again putting on different disguise or going to different places as a result. So no harm is incurred as a result of this, but you are on high alert essentially. With that payment down and the spending of the reputation and stuff like that, like again, you're known as like making this big splash, and the other factions know it, but the sort of noise of it doesn't go away quickly. It does eventually, slowly but surely. You know, newspapers change as well. Maybe your connections with the ink rakes help blow it over a little bit as well.
Yeah.
Okay. My next question to you: are you going to pay the wraiths after your mission? Because you do have some coin.
I think we probably should this time. Don't know how everyone else is feeling, but I'm feeling more generous than maybe.
I don't know why we are. What was the what was the point?
Previous debt that we just cancelled out?
Every time you have a
Not
mission,
the ongoing debt.
Every time you have a mission, you have to pay a tithe because you're at a lower level than the current ward boss, which is the wraiths. And so after every mission,
the whole point of doing this was that we didn't have to pay them.
No, it cleared our debt. It didn't mean that we're like never gonna have to pay them again.
are you going to pay them?
I vote yes.
Suppose we've got a freaking face and a name now. That makes it less easier to ignore.
That was
them.
it. Before they weren't really a thing, were they? And then suddenly they've just turned up and.
Okay. Who goes to give the handoff of the payment?
I will go.
Okay. You go meet and sort of another individual of the wraiths in a pub maybe a few days afterwards, and you sort of hand over the coin. Goes, finally came to your senses, eh? Good.
Just thought there could be a mutual understanding between the two groups.
What made you think there would be? You came onto our turf. You stole our clients.
I think you'll find that we can be very useful for you.
No chance. Why would we work with you?
You already have.
No, we haven't.
Excuse you?
Excuse you. Why would we ever work with harriers of all
Knew
people?
it. Knew it. I've done it.
Take your beak and stick it somewhere else, love.
Just out. I will do just that. Out of curiosity,
Uh-huh.
have you heard of someone called Sugar?
Oh. Go on. Fuck off.
Yeah, I'll do that. Yes, okay, lovely. And then we'll just walk away, just like fuck.
So your debt is cleared. You've reset the clock.
Do we have to
Get a
pay the whole
guest
debt
star,
then?
They said.
Yeah, how much do we have to pay now,
It'll
given
be-
that wasn't...
Look, you've just taken one slot out. Like you've already one segment in, so you paid that back. So now it started fresh.
We paid for last time and this time?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, so we did end... Okay, right. Okay,
Yeah, you
fine,
did
so-
exactly what you meant to do. You also might have found out.
know that.
I wouldn't have necessarily been
No,
given them
yeah.
enough money to
We
do
weren't,
that.
we
because
weren't
I...
taking them enough money.
Yeah.
So you.
All right. Let's then go for.
Just got arrested for nothing. It's fine.
Josephine.
So we're
Ask
gonna
more
go.
questions.
We're gonna go to our players' downtime as well. I appreciate the time as well. I'm gonna try and be quick as we can. Obviously, the way we do in deep cuts, we have Vice, which is separate to your downtime activities. I'm gonna say, Alistair, you cannot do your downtime activities currently. Maybe we'll have a little scene at the beginning of next episode to go through what you're doing, just for expediency's sake. So have a think about what you would do in prison briefly, and we'll see what comes of it from that. But
And
going
I feel
to
like we should skip mine too. Like, I don't need to do downtime.
no, you don't. Yeah, that's fine. You're not going to help anyone with their clocks, I don't think. Now.
Nah.
Whose downtime might be trying to fucking find sugar.
I'm doing my
Yeah.
own thing.
So check with people. Is anyone indulging in their vice at all? Okay.
Me.
The doll. So you would need to spend 1 coin to clear all of your stress.
Done.
Yep. And how much stress do you have?
5.
5.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah, of course.
that's fine. Describe to us what you're doing in terms of your vice. How are you clearing it in a short scene?
Can I weave it into my downtime activities as well?
Sure. Yeah, what are you thinking?
I think for her downtime activities, I've forgotten where that list is, but I'm going to do exactly what I was doing last time, which is looking into the ritual that I'm trying to create.
Yes.
And the way she is doing it this time is I like to imagine that in their lair, she's got a little room with a little windowsill. And she just sort of opens the windows and places some candles along the edge and lights them all up. And eventually a sort of pigeon lands nearby and she just reaches out and grabs it and pulls it in. And her eyes go white. And this time, instead of the light of the candles going into her, light from the pigeon's eyes starts to like splutter and like goes back towards the candles, and she watches as sort of slowly light leaves this pigeon, but then she sort of puts it out on the ledge and lets go and just wants to see if it still flies.
Absolutely. I think because of the way you're doing this, you're going to fill in another segment in your clock about extracting the ectoplasm. And what you can see, the pigeon is like, it looks almost diminished in color, as if like one of the faders has sort of gone down on it, so it looks much grayer, perhaps. I think the key thing is that its eyes, they no longer have pupils in them at all. It's just pure iris, and so that's just that pure color, and it almost like moves every so often, as if it's just, oh yeah, I'm supposed to move, or like it just shuffles its feathers, but it's almost like on a background movement, background animation, that sort of thing.
Idling.
Yeah, idling. It's literally that. But it was almost like, oh yeah, shit, I should be doing this. It doesn't seem like it's hurt in any way or something like that, but it does almost as if the spark has been taken out of it.
Fascinating. And she will sit and her hand will start hurriedly scribbling in these sort of very jaggedy lines. And eventually she will tear the page out of her notebook, fold it up, and hand it to the pigeon.
Yeah.
And I'd like that to be my vice. If you'll
Yes,
let me
no.
have a weird pigeon take a letter to someone.
I think it's one of those things, like, we actually maybe zoom out a little bit from the room and we see that actually there's lots of pigeons in your room that are acting the same way as a result, and like different scraps of letters and stuff like that. So you've had to pay for feed or something like that, or a cleaner to help clean
a feed, not that she'll clean herself.
Oh, very nice, very nice.
Can I do that twice to get?
I was going to say, you want to
slots?
do that twice? Yeah,
Yeah.
that perfectly makes sense to me. Yeah, absolutely. Moving over to either the Good Doctor or Cuff. What are you thinking?
No vice for me. I just want to do more of my long-term project and
Yes.
spy on the police. Not that I care about them or anything. I don't.
Yeah. So because we missed this actually at the last session that we did, we didn't get to do your downtime. So you have gone into a long-term project, which is 6 segments, sorry, where you are trying to find out about the ringleaders of this particular section called the Blackcoats. And I think just to describe again, keeping up to date, I think you sort of did it in your sort of opening titles. You were sort of spying in, listening in on various various meetings and stuff like that, but then getting caught in the action, so to speak. So that's why you've not been able to do too much of it. But yeah, it sounds like are you gonna do similar things? Or are you gonna like go to the pubs? Like, what are you thinking in terms of finding out more information?
I think probably after last time it going a little bit south, this time I'm probably gonna try and blend into a more public spot. Maybe track some people that I used to work with. I didn't used to work with them or anything, but like maybe used to work with. And or vaguely recognize from old dreams and lives, and see what they are saying, see who they meet with.
Definitely didn't work with them. Definitely never.
I don't know who you're talking about.
Definitely don't know
Who
them.
said that?
Who said that? Why would you do that? What?
So with this downtime, so you're going to fill in another segment, and this is going to include the entanglement that I rolled for last time, which I didn't get to in our session. You hear the Blackcoats or messages, people, so and so said this and this and this and this, and you sort of piece together that the individuals, there's only a couple of higher ups in the Blackcoats. Like the Bluecoats, there's loads of them, and then there's like a smaller rank of the, and about the Greycoats as well. That's sort of like a fringe movement, and we don't talk about them. And the Blackcoats, they're higher up, but there's even more of a higher up at the top. And to get to the fully top, you're going to have to get through some inner circles and stuff, maybe attend like a conference or something. You hear there's going to be like a conference of sort of like meeting with the city council to talk about some passing of laws and encouraging the powers and increasing the powers of Bluecoats. Because I don't know if you've heard, there's been like a big explosion in Silkshore, and no one can be trusted with these vice dealers. In particular, you hear from one person that they are closing down quite a number of illegal fighting pits. And Marlene's name and her fighting pit comes up, and it sounds like she has been taken away for questioning herself after the stuff that happened.
God damn it.
The entanglement for you is that your contact of Marlene is no longer available for you right now. Maybe that will change in future. But because of your actions from last time, it has
gonna be super pissed.
And I think that hits Cuff quite hard as well, because you're like,
she really likes Marlene.
Yeah. So that is that also going to be two?
Yeah, I'll spend 2 actions last week, 2 actions this week on it.
Perfect. Good. And the good doctor, are you dealing with your vice, or are you?
I'm not, because I didn't take any stress today.
Nice. Fair enough.
I don't know how I managed
How was
that,
I the one that took all the stress from just standing outside?
Because
for
you did it
most
before
of
we started.
You communicated with the ghosts.
That's ghosts.
love it.
That's
I
ghosts
love
for
it.
you.
The ghosts. Is there anything you'd like to do, the doctor? You've got, your own little project that you're doing.
I do. So I'm definitely going to use one of my downtime activities to progress that. You see the doctor bent over an examining table with a body, maybe one that came out of a sack at the start of the episode, who knows. And they are using some of the spark they acquired last episode to see what effect it has on limbs and sensory organs and various bits and bobs. Continuing to research that.
Okay. Yeah, it takes some time, and I think you're at risk a little bit, but you're trying to be careful of it, because obviously you can't have bodies with you for too long, because that will draw the attention of the spirit wardens as well. So
My contact is a corpse thief.
Yeah, so what I was going to say was that you use this contact, but like you only have the barest of like hours rather than days. So you're currently making notes and stuff like that on top of that before you get your contact to come back in and get
That's
rid
all right.
of.
I don't want to keep it until it's for as long as it takes to start to smell. Anyway.
True, but what I'm about to say is that like you start, maybe you use a syringe to put in the tiniest bit of spark and record its notes. And the thing you notice with the body parts that you have is that it's sort of definitely after a few seconds as the sort of syringe goes in with the sort of silvery sort of liquid that sort of spins and turns, is that the hand will flex and jolt and like spasm, and it will do so for a good 10 minutes. Same with the foot as well. The feet sort of move and like again tap a little bit. It doesn't look like it's controlled in any way, any conscious thought, but it does seem that spark does have an impact on the body even after death.
Good to know.
Even after death. I mean, that would make sense anyway.
And then I'm going to use my other activity
Yep.
to train.
Excellent. What are you training in? What are you thinking?
Well, so we have a trainer, don't we?
You do, yeah. You've got a rank 3 instructor in Resolve.
That's what I thought. So Arison's never had to deal with people, really. They've just kind of, grown up in a position of privilege and whatever else, and kind of told people what to do, and it just sort of happened. And now that they've kind of have to practice actually, maybe being a bit more reasonable, or talking to different kinds of people, I suppose, is more what it is. So I think they are going to, I can't decide whether it's going to be sway or command, but it's working towards...
You're working towards like increasing your bedside manner.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you think you want to be a good doctor or a bad doctor?
I think we know the answer to that, don't we?
Right, it sounds like a command then. That's what
Your name says good doctor.
Do you have any dots in command just now?
I do not.
Great. I'm going to be a little bit changing because normally I don't know how many clocks you have filled in terms of your XP. Have you got 2 or just 1?
I filled in 1 complete clock.
Yeah, normally you would need 2 just to start that process.
Oh, do you? I'm so sorry.
No. Yeah, because we've got very limited time doing the series. I'm gonna say this for everyone: is that if you want to train, you're going to spend 1 of your clocks, and you'll get a dot in command. I'm just going to do that because we don't have time to go through the whole thing of that. And like you said, as a good guest, Josephine says, you guys need to ask me for more stuff to get those XPs up.
It's good to know.
So, yeah. And I think we'll just frame this up so like in the sense of like you're trying to like you see like sentences on like an elocution board, but it's like more commanding, you're more shouting. Maybe it's like an opera singer comes in, is talking like you must project, and you just start sort of shouting at commands and stuff like that.
How we have like a debate club.
Yes,
try and be intimidating.
Yes, incredible.
Fun.
So that sounds like that's all the downtime stuff done, and we're gonna go to our sort of final little scene. I'm gonna follow Sugar. Sugar, where do we find you the evening after the explosion of the cloister in Silkshore?
I, of course, make my way back to... Can I say his name? I just want to...
Sure, yes. Yeah,
okay, great.
Yeah,
I make my way
like
back to my dear Lord Skurlock. There's like an inflatable man
sort of...
deflating behind me.
Some sort of like wobbling, some sort of Kermit the Frog action. Yes, absolutely.
But yes, I make my way back there, and I approach, head bowed, very subservient. I say, my lord, my prince, my liege, and I sort of get down on my knees. I don't look him in the eyes. I've done as you've asked.
And the camera sort of sees sort of like in this big long wingback chair in a very sparsely made sort of hall in the mansion. We see those clocks from our opening titles sort of ticking in the background, and this huge sort of fire. And maybe you just see a hand sort of reach out and just touch your cheek, Sugar. Sort of a long hand with nails slightly longer, but the hand itself is beautiful and young, like pristine, as if oiled. And we just hear a voice that goes, "You have done exactly as I've asked. And then some. Tell me, did he suffer?"
Oh. Oh, I think he did, my lord. I don't think he's having a good time at all.
Excellent. That will teach Umbra to leave my service without my permission and go off on his own without me.
Are you pleased with me, sire?
My dear sugar. And so again, just holds your head and will tilt it up so that you meet his gaze.
Oh, thank you, my lord. To gaze upon your visage.
Tell me, do you wish to be enlightened, my dear sugar? You have been in my service for so long. I feel it's only right that I repay you for your kindness in helping me crush these little ants.
I would wish for nothing more. Yes.
You sort of, again, lifts up your head and you meet his eyes. And again, it looks like as the camera sort of turns, a youngish sort of man, long black hair. You'd say in the prime of maybe like early 20s at this point, but the eyes are the things that give it away, these sort of dark pools of nothingness. That smile does not reach his eyes. And he goes, "Wonderful," and clicks his fingers, and behind him you can see that servants appear out of the darkness, and they come to an area that you hadn't really clocked when you came in, but it seems to be like a curtain that's hanging over like a freestanding sort of object. Not a sculpture per se, but looks like very thin things. And he goes, "I wish to show you something. Thank you for the manifest. It was important to know where these shipments the branch twins were getting. And, well, we've pinpointed." And he sort of, again, uses his finger to point to this thing, and the curtain comes off, and we see a door. Freestanding door.
Blasted birds.
Where you, the door itself, it looks old, really old, like as if like bits of wood, like driftwood, have almost been put together, and you see sort of the metal and the ring on it. We found that these doorways keep appearing, and well, now we see where this product comes in. These discs. We think they are appearing or brought through these doorways, these places where we have we don't know what's on the other side.
Oh, what can I do for you, my liege?
It is just a simple matter. I would love for you to go through the door and return with what you find on the other side.
Of course. Anything you say. Thank you. I kiss his hands.
Oh, please.
Thank you.
Sugar, there's no need for formality here. You and I, we see eye to eye on these things. And
of course.
You don't need to be afraid. It's just a door.
Since you've said it, I'm not afraid.
Sugar, possibly for the first time in your life, you don't think Lord Skurlock is telling you the truth about the door.
Shit. I have this damn ability.
What do you do?
I kind of approach slowly towards the door. I'm like, and people have come back out, right, sir?
Yes, I did, and I'm completely fine.
Is that
And
true?
It is true.
Okay.
You can sense it, but he goes,
Yeah.
admittedly, this new version of me is a little bit, pomp and circumstance. But if you go through the door, you come back a better you. And together,
More like you.
in a way.
Okay, I believe.
Good. Do this for me. And you'll join us and the others. And we'll take this world for our own.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Okay.
Just open the door.
Open the door.
Again, the hand goes to this sort of metal lock. And the last thing you think of, Sugar, is just the fact that you saw his eyes. These beautiful golden eyes. Cat eye, the slit. With no warmth behind them, but he saw you. And that's the biggest happiness you've ever felt. And then we go back to the big sort of hallway, and you are gone. Just the door, and Skurlock goes, and sort of wipes his hand off where you kissed it. Make sure when he returns, he's filled in, and maybe I'll pay a visit to the prison. I'll just check on my boy. And we'll end with a moment where he goes and he picks up the gift that you brought, along with the manifest, but a disc as well. And he puts the disc into the gramophone, does not use cans, he's not foolish, and plays it. And a man's voice comes out of the gramophone, and it starts to resonate. Maybe we pull out at this point as the sort of end credits go. And we just hear, "Hey Jude, sing a sad song and make it better."
I'm gonna get copyright struck now.
That's it. That's why I did the two things. It's all good. And that's where we're gonna end this episode of Blood and Fog.
What is going on?
It's fine. Just go through the door, guys.
Just go through the door. I'm willing to just go through the door.
The handsome man said we should go through a door.
We should all go through the door.
Cool. Agreed. Boom.
Okay, we are going to have to
sorry.
wrap up rapidly. However, we should absolutely say hello. Thank you to our guests. Holly, who are you? Where can people find you?
I'm Holly. You can find me on Holly Lights Games on Twitch and on Holly Lights Games, or Holly Lights Games 13 on Twitch, and then Holly Lights Games on Blue Sky and Instagram. And yeah.
Awesome. Lou, who are you? Where can we find you?
Oh, you can find me at I am Lou Fryer on all the things, and on my podcast of Dice and Drum. Come hang out.
You've absolutely crushed it. Well done. Josephine, do some plugging. You can do it. I believe in you.
Okay. You can find me at JCVIM on Twitch, Instagram, Blue Sky. Oh, also, you should come to Call of Cthulhu Live touring this summer in the UK. Check Chaosium's socials, my socials, it's on there too, to get more info and tickets and things. Please come see us.
Touring with some lovely people.
Yeah.
Lovely people. A couple of which have been on the channel before as well. So, like, you friends of the RP Geeks. It's lovely. We've been the RP Geeks. You can find us everywhere at RP Geeks D&D. That's just where we live on the internet. If you really love us, you can follow us on Patreon, where you will get some little behind the scenes content. You've got some session zeros for Blades in the Dark. Oh boy, you can find out about our character backstories, which it seems might be quite relevant. And yeah, it's my head's spinning trying to remember everything that were in certain people's backstories. And one of the things you also get if you join at any tier, any paid tier on the Patreon, is you get the chance to be added into our world. So, that being said, could someone roll a d12 for me? I don't mind who.
Got one here.
Go for it,
Oh
Shamini.
gosh, that was a 1.
A 1 is Debbie Bridges.
Oh,
Debbie, thank you. Who would like to add Debbie to the world? Josephine, would you like to come up with a random person or character they can be in the world?
Oh God, you want me to do this?
Yeah, why not?
Twisted little world. Okay. Well, look, Sugar may be on the other side of a door, but one of the places that he frequented. Could they be the purveyor in the Smoke Tavern, the Pleasure Tavern?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, a purveyor of nice smokable products.
Smokable products.
Sugar saw the Branch twins go through, and all sorts of
I love
people.
it.
Yeah.
Beautiful stuff. We've got one more. Someone else roll me a d12. Or Shamini do it again.
I just did it again.
No, it's fine. You can do it
I
again.
won't get a 1 again though, so.
Well, we can just make it number 2 if you want. That's fine. That is Caitlin.
Yeah.
Lou, would you like to add Caitlin?
Yes. Caitlin is one of the people that were queued up to go into the cloister, whose ID is in Cuff's pocket.
Yeah.
Your ID.
Maybe
I
useful.
still have it.
Hey, that means Cuff can pretend to be Caitlin at some point. So
Cuff can pretend to be Caitlin. Caitlin was very scared, cowered against a wall. Cuff was very intimidating, and now she has Caitlin's ID. So yeah,
Nice.
might turn up in a future episode with saying she's Caitlin.
There you go. Well, if you would like to be one of these people put into the worlds, then you can follow us at or join us on Patreon at patreon.com/rpgeeksd&d. And yeah, it's been lovely having you all here in chat. It's been lovely being live here on YouTube, which is all exciting for us. If you're watching in the future for us, then hi, thanks. You can like and comment and do all those things. If you're listening on the podcast, hello. You couldn't see all our faces at the end, but fucking hell, we were making them. I highly recommend if you're able.
I was the bird noises.
Shamini was the bird noises that you heard. And yeah, please do all those things, like, rating 5 stars and all the other things that you're meant to do with podcasts. ? Is there anything else? I think I'm rambling again. Shamini, Fiona?
I think that's it. Just
Wonderful.
just open doors. That's what I say. Open doors and go through them. That's big advice for
Do
life.
it all again
Okay,
next
less
week?
talking from Fiona now. I think.
Okay.
It's been. She freaks me out every time. I love it. Never stop. Right. Thank you all so much for being here. Josephine, thank you for being here. Oh my goodness. Sugar went
Thank
through
you
a
for
door.
having me. Sorry for lying
You're
to
a
you
big
every
lying
single
liar.
step of the way.
I so nearly used
Get
my
a guest
ritual.
star, they said. It'll be
Yeah.
fun, they said.
It'll be fun. Josephine, we have a lovely time. I very nearly used my ritual to spy on Sugar, and I was like, no, that's so untrusting, Emily. I was like, use it to help the mission. And I was wrong to do that.
You'll never trust a guest again.
Yeah.
Never
Yeah.
again.
Love it.
And my character's been fine and definitely isn't hiding anything. So I think we're all good.
Well, we just know that the doll doesn't love all of you.
Yeah.
Yeah, look, maybe there's some stuff. Anyway, it's fine. We'll see you all next week. That is Tuesday, 25th of March, for more of Blood and Fog.
Fog.
A Blades in the Dark story. Thank you so much for watching. See you next time. Bye.
Bye.